Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready to have the Stuco gift exchange. So Lamar Student Council and Sam Houston Student Council, please meet at the center of the field. Sorry, I do not have the names of the Sam Houston members, but the Lamar Stuco is Michael Wynn, Kate Kadawi, Dean El Sharif, Warren Brown, Charlie Crawley, Jenna Phillips, Helen Holsey, and Kennedy Levy. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the field, Lamar's 2017-2018 varsity cheerleaders. Thanks to all the little Vikes who attended our recent cheer clinic. We look forward to having
cheer with us on October 13th. Lamar Cheer is also hosting a tailgate.
Hello football fans and welcome to this edition of Lamar Viking Varsity Football, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club. I'm Bill Frawley. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play tonight. With me is Ryan DeMartino. He's going to be doing color commentary. Ryan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing well. It's a beautiful overcast night. At least there's no rain and there's no sun beating down on us. So hopefully a great environment for Friday night football.
Yes, sir. Nice cool air tonight. We just got the rains in yesterday, so It's great football weather.
Definitely so. Starting to feel a little bit like fall finally. Hey, so tonight it's Arlington Lamar hosting Sam Houston High School. And the Vikings overall 37-9 through the history against the Sam Houston Texans. And in fact have won the last 15 in a row and 30 of the last 32. They're 15-4 against the Texans at Cravens Field. The last time Sam Houston won here was back in 2001. And so it's been 16 years, about 8 games here at Cravens since Sam Houston has won. Lamar 36-10 in district opener games. 5 of the last 6. Sam is 22-30 with 2 ties in their district openers. Last year, Lamar won this contest over across town, 51-3. Now, 2 weeks ago, because last week everyone in the district had a bye week, Lamar beat Keller Central for their first win of the season, 7-0. I was at that game, a really interesting outcome and game. And then Sam Houston beat Fort Worth Dunbar last 2 weeks ago, 26-18. Ryan, you've got some stats to share about some of the players on the Viking team so far this year. Tell us what you've got.
Yeah, we've got some of our top rushers. Bradley has he's averaging 28.3 yards a game, about 4.3 yards per rush. The sophomore Jack Dawson, the quarterback, he's averaging about 5.1 yards per rush, and he's got a total of 46.3. Your main running back is Moultrie. He's got 153 yards, and he's averaging about 3.8.
I'll tell you, it's fun to watch the team when they have those 2 running backs, Moultrie and Bradley, to split time with, and whether they're out there at the same time once in a while or when they come and go.
Exactly. One's kind of a slasher dasher. One's just run up the gut and chew up them yards, move them chains. So.
And speaking of the change, one thing I've talked to Coach DeLay on the weekly coaches show and one thing he always says is, I don't want to be playing behind the chains. And we've had very few plays for loss of yardage this season, thanks to those guys and Jack Dawson's rushing and passing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you get into like a 3rd and 8, 3rd and long situation, your playbook kind of closes down a little bit. You've only got so many plays to choose from. You want that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4th. It opens up your entire offensive playbook. All you need to get is 3-4 yards, or you can, choose and pick and go down the field if you want. It's just your choice. We've got some receiving stats here. West, 12 receptions for 173 yards, and we've got Jalen Jones with 14 receptions for 116 yards. So
definitely a threat through the air.
Yeah, definitely.
Those guys get open and hang on to the ball. Once in a while we have had a little bit of trouble or challenge with dropped passes. So I think sometimes the completion rate for Dawson is a little bit skewed just because there's been, like with everyone, there's been some drop balls. But we've got quite a passing game, and Dawson is really coming into his own. It's hard to remember sometimes. He's a sophomore playing at the varsity level.
He just needs those reps, and, the sky's the limit for him.
Definitely so. I'm going to share a few things about the Sam Houston stats and players to watch, and then we'll come back if you got some more things on defense. They've had one quarterback pretty much all season, just like we have. Number 7, Dollar is his name. He's averaging about 108.3 yards per game through the air. He's 28 of 50 with 325 total yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. So doing a pretty good job for them. But their real threat is on the ground. Number 24, I believe you pronounce his name, Bouye, 149 yards so far on 40 carries. And then Cofield, the other running back to watch, is 24 carries for 46 yards. And then Harris, 13 carries, 68 yards. Favorite target for Dollar when he's at quarterback, Bolden is one of the receivers, 6 receptions, 93 yards. And then Smith, 7 receptions, 105 yards. And then one thing we're really going to have to watch for tonight against Sam Houston, they've got a kickoff and punt returner, Phillips, number 9, who's a monster. He has had 139 kickoff return yards and 161 punt return yards. And Ryan, you've seen it too, and it's no secret, sometimes our kickoff return coverage is not the best, so we're really going to have to focus in on that.
Yeah, we're going to have to stay in our lanes, contain, and just watch out for those, Phillips that's going to, he's fast. So we really got to watch out for that, not let him get outside.
Definitely so.
So if you let him outside, he's gone. So all-purpose yards, Bradley and Dawson are going to lead your pack. Bradley's got 85 all-purpose yards with 12 reception, and Dawson's got 139 yards. So another notable player to watch out for is West, and he's got 173 receiving yards. So definitely some things to watch out for, some things that we can play off of, and some kids to get in the game.
Definitely so, and we're about to have the coin toss out at the center of the field. The 4 captains for Lamar coming out to meet the 4 captains for Sam Houston.
The referees for tonight's game.
We got Dayton Dubs, number 10, 21, which is Javante Kemp, number 68.
Charles Bourne.
He is Graham Eads.
James Rogers. Back judge Peter Vaccaro.
And then Kate Tresh, I believe, number 20.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, Kate Tresh, number 20, is out there as well.
Kate Tresh, of course, had that interception to basically save the game against Keller Central a couple weeks ago over in Keller, and that was a spectacular play. And then the other thing that really sealed the deal was when Jack Dawson had about a 40-something yard run on that possession to get us down close to the goal line, and then that really definitely sealed everything.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Houston
has won the toss. They're going to defer their option to the second half like you typically expect. And so that means then Lamar's going to get our choice in the first half. I'm going to make a bold prediction, say that we're going to choose to receive the opening kickoff. And it looks like we're going to be defending the north end zone. So if you're kind of looking at your computer screen, they're going to be moving left to right. They will receive that kickoff. And Sam Houston's going to kick the ball, defending the south end zone, moving right to left. So we're just about ready, I think, for the national anthem soon. And then we'll be back with you to bring you the game.
All right.
Take your hat off if you happen to have one. As you sing along to our national anthem, please remember those who lead us, those who teach us, and especially those who protect us tonight as we play our national anthem.
versus the Vikings.
Okay, we've just had the playing of the national anthem. Kickoff is just moments away in this beautiful, overcast, cool, fall-like evening at Cravens Field on the north side of Arlington, Texas. We want to welcome again everyone to this broadcast of Lamar Viking Varsity Football, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club. Again, I'm Bill Frawley. We'll be doing the play-by-play. With me, Ryan DeMartelaire, going to be in color commentary. Darren and Tim providing our spotting and drive charts. Jay Ryan is our producer. He's up here doing the PA announcing. So we've got quite a crew up here. We are missing Joe Toronto. In case Joe was able to listen in tonight, suffered an injury today, won't be able to make it with us. Joe, we hope you're doing well. And so the Vikings are taking the field to receive that opening kickoff.
26-19. Deep for Lamar.
Deep are going to be Trevon West, number 26, Desmond Moultrie. Moultrie, again, one of those star running backs for us. And we'll see which of these two Vikings, hopefully the kick goes back there far enough, and we'll get to see one heck of a return.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
and now the Sam Houston Texans are coming onto the field.
At LamarNation.com, and uses YouTube as its medium to get out to the world. Here's the kicker.
Looks like 82.
Number 82 is the kicker tonight. We'll call him Anderson.
He's the one player we don't have a name for on the roster. So we'll just call him, the kicker Anderson.
I apologize, at the moment we don't have a name for number 82 on Sam Houston. Tradition says we shall call him Anderson for the moment.
All right, Ryan, everyone has their places ready to go. The ball is on the tee, and the kick is up in the air. We're underway. And the kick is going to go to Moultrie. He'll take it at about the 8-yard line, cuts back toward the center of the field, gets across the 20. He's going to be finally taken down as he falls forward to the 24-yard line.
Moultrie, the ball carrier.
Looks like number 40, Damian Roseman, was leading the tackle, and number 3
and Thomas.
Number 43, Kane.
Oh, 43, thanks.
Fearnance took him down as well. Oh, 43. Sorry.
Trey Flood Hensley?
Yeah, Hensley.
Okay.
Flood Hensley.
So the Vikings will start first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
At the 24.
After about a 16-yard return, give or take, from Desmond Moultrie. Jack Dawson, the quarterback.
42 and 8.
We've got twins left, single right. One in the backfield with Dawson.
Motion out to number
Bradley in motion. He catches a pass out in the screen, and he's going to be run out of bounds for approximately no gain.
Bradley, number 4.
So
he might have gained a yard on that play, yeah, but it was just a quick
number
out.
20. Actually, Jones is the tackler. Yeah, so what are they going to? It looks like
1 yard, second down.
That's no gain. It's no gain for it. So second and 10. So now we've got trips left. No one on the right side. Looks like Bradley again in the backfield. Now we've got
motion for Jalen Jones, and Bradley
goes wide.
Pass.
It's going to go downfield to Jones. He catches the ball. Oh, and he drops it. He almost had that wrapped up, but couldn't control it to the ground. That was out close to midfield. So now it's going to be third down and 10.
Yeah, that was a good cornerback play by Virgil Phillips on Sam Houston's side. He knocked it out just as Jalen got his hands on the ball. So
now we'll see what they do on third and 2. They're already showing twins left and a single receiver right. Now they're going to go trips left with Jalen Jones joining out there on the far side of the field.
Got Bradley to Dawson's right in the backfield.
Here's a snap. Dawson steps back. He's looking downfield. And it's going to be, just in and out of the hands. Number 19, Trevon West, was the intended receiver.
Yes, intended for
Number
West.
5, Willie Washington, defending, it looks like.
That's really good, just a simple go route. West had a few steps on him. Jack got the ball out. He just, again, one of those drops.
Yeah. Definitely a catchable ball, but unfortunately now it's a 3 and out on our opening drive. It's going to be fourth down and 10 from the 24-yard line. It looks like we're going to have number 10, Dayton Dubs, back to punt.
Dayton was a soccer player, so I know he can kick that ball, and he's speedy. So
Caden Hadawi's been doing a lot of the punting so far. So Dubs, there's a flag on the play. Dubs gets the punt away. It's a good high one back to the 35-yard line. No fair catch was called. It's a fumble. Now there's a flag on the play there. We might get a face mask down here. We did have a flag at the line of scrimmage, and now there's a flag over here where the punt was fielded, and he was immediately hit by one of the Vikings. And I think he might have gotten up high around the face mask area. But there was not a fair catch called.
2 flags on the play.
So we got offside against the Texans. And then interfering with the reception of the punt. We're going to offset. So we're going to re-kick. It'll be 4th and 10 again.
It'll be a replay.
So Ryan, I guess, and without the benefit of video replay, I guess he just got there just a hair too early, not allowing him really that opportunity to field that punt.
Yeah, if you get into it, you know, his space or his bubble, as I like to call it, you can't do that. It interferes with his concentration on catching the ball, and you know that's why he bobbled it. And, you know,
well, and Lamar must have read the stats, because this is at number 9. We talked about pregame. Virgil Phillips, that awesome kickoff and punt returner for the Texans. So they're going to do their best not to let him capitalize. That's a line drive punt this time, and it rolls past Phillips. It's going to roll all the way down to the 20-yard line and get just past Phillips. It looks like we're going to kill that ball at the 19-yard line. Now, just in case it had touched Phillips, Dayton Dubs picks it up and runs down into the end zone. It's Trevon West. Excuse me, Trevon West. Now, I'm getting some conflicting. No, yeah, okay. They did blow it dead at the 19. I don't think it did touch Phillips. But you know what? Why not pick it up just in case?
57 yards.
Definitely heads up football player no matter what.
So Dayton Dubs gets a 57-yard punt on a line drive plus about 20 yards on the roll. So I don't care how it happens. It's a good punt.
1st and 10 Lamar since they blew it dead.
Oh, so it did touch Phillips, I guess. But when okay, maybe you can't advance that. I don't know.
So the refs blew it dead, regardless.
Okay, so that's true. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings now at the Texan 19-yard line. Sorry for the confusion. Handoff. Bradley's up the middle to the 20, to the 10.
Michael Bradley brought down by number 9.
Michael Bradley, he's going to get about 8 yards down to the 11-yard line. So we're going to have 2nd down and 2 for the Vikings at the 11-yard line.
Good quick thinking. Get up to the line, run a play real quick, catch the defense off guard, and maybe get in that end zone.
From the 11.
What a break that line drive punt rolled just across, I guess, Phillips' legs.
I guess when it went right in between his legs. So we got twins to the right, single receiver.
There's Bradley again to the 10, to the 5, to the 6. He's brought down by number 9, and that's going to be Virgil Phillips.
6-yard line. 1st and goal, Vikings.
So that's good for another Lamar Viking 1st down.
Number 9.
First one of the night, actually. 1st and goal for the Vikings at the Texans 6-yard line. And again, another Bradley powered up the middle.
Yes, sir. And then Moultrie checks in for Bradley now. So Bradley comes off for a break, catches a breather.
Dawson in the shotgun.
Twins to the right, single receiver to the left.
To his left.
Here's the snap.
West in motion.
A pass out to the left side, and it's going to be just out of the reach of Trevon West.
Incomplete.
So a snap and a quick turn and throw to the left flat. But unfortunately just out of the reach of West. So that'll bring up 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line.
Wanted to fake like they're going to run and then throw that quick screen out there to him and try to catch the defense off guard and out of position.
Once again, twins right, single left. Moultrie in the backfield to the left of Dawson. It's a handoff to Moultrie. He's up to the 5, to the 3-2, and he reaches the ball across the goal line. Signal touchdown. 6-yard run, sweeping around the right-hand side, just off that right tackle.
Yep, definitely good blocking by the wide receivers. Dayton Dubs. Jalen's out there blocking as well. He went in motion that time and blocked up the middle for him, so it was a great job.
Villegas, number 80, will attempt the point after.
So here comes the first point after attempt of the game. Juan Villegas talking about soccer players.
Exactly.
Okay, trash the snap.
Just a different way to say football.
There you go. Here's this deep snap, and there's going to be some flags offsides. but it looks like the kick is up and good.
Kick is good.
We'll make sure that we didn't draw them offsides, but I'm pretty sure that was just a jump on the Texans. And
Offsides.
So the kick is good. That brings our score to 7-0 with 9:35 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, we had 3 plays, 1 first down made.
19 total yards?
Yeah, 19 total yards.
Capped off by the 6-yard run by Moultrie.
That was all one drive. All one drive.
Considered one drive?
Well, yeah, because Sam never had possession. Okay. I mean, it should all be one drive.
So it's a good way to start off the evening.
Definitely so. Take advantage of the breaks when they fall your way. Or bump the knees your way, whatever you want to say. Yeah. That time will pass. Definitely. So now the Texans are taking the field.
Phillips is in the back.
Along with number 2, Joshua Bolden.
Deep for Sam Houston. Number 2, Bolden. Number 9.
So if the kicker, Villegas, has done his homework, he's going to know, don't kick it to Phillips, number 9.
Yeah, kick it to the second tier of guys, and or in this case, the third tier guys. Kick it right around the 20-yard line and give your special teams a chance to make the stop. Definitely. But there is a lot of open field out there that he can't kick it to. So
there's the little stutter step. Villegas ran up like he was going to squib kick it, then pulls back. Everyone's now on the 35-yard line on the kickoff team for Lamar, ready to go.
Okay, he's got that option. If he sees something.
Yep, here's the kick. Oh, it's a little hooch kick to about the 37-yard line,
and they fall on it after a bobble.
But the Texans do fall on it again eventually. Yeah, they did try to get it once.
13.
Yeah, it looks like Andrea Land recovered it. So it's going to be first and 10 for the Texans at their own 35-yard line.
Definitely a smart play by Lamar. Don't kick it deep.
Yeah.
Squib it, take a middle, choose some time off the clock as well.
You're not going to give up the touchdown. They might not have returned it to the 35, but you put your defense out there ready to play.
Exactly.
So let's see what Dollar and company can do on offense for the Texans. Jacob Dollar is their quarterback. They've got a single receiver right, 2 receivers left. They got 1 running back with Dollar in the backfield. Here's a little bit of a high snap. It's a handoff up the middle. We are swarming all over it. It's impossible right now to say who led the tackle.
It looks like Javante Kemp, number 21, that I saw get in there and scrum first.
Kate Tresh was one of the last ones also, so he was down in there. And
yeah, those linebackers will definitely step up and try to, you know, they're all over the field. We got some really smart linebackers here with Tresh and Townsend.
Twins left, single right, running back in the back. Dollar throws over to the right flat. It's caught at the 41-yard line, out to the 45, and he finally pushed out of bounds at about the 49-yard line, just inside Texan territory still. Yeah, 14 yards on the play, first and 10 Texans. Sam Townsend, number 13, pushed the runner out of bounds after the catch. First and 10 Texans at their own 49-yard line.
We got Twins left, single receiver to the right.
And off up the middle. No, it's quarterback Reed. And he'll be tackled at the 45-yard line.
Jacob Dollar on the quarterback.
It's like number 27, Tavano Green. And again, Kate Tresh in there too on the tackle. Second down and 4 for the Texans at the Viking 45-yard line. We got Twins left, single right.
We got linebacker blitz set up. Yep.
Fake handoff. It's a throw deep over to the right side, way overthrown and catchable by anybody. There's players getting a little handsy with each other, but I don't think there could be a flag on that. Number 1, it was way overthrown.
It's incomplete.
Definitely. They put the pressure on him, and he wasn't able to let his receiver run the route.
Yeah, the intended receiver, Joshua Bolden, deep. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Texans at the Viking 45. Big 3rd down play here to see if the defense can stop this drive.
Harris, the tailback,
especially on a 3rd and 4.
Everyone to the left with the tailback Harris behind the quarterback. Lamar showing blitz.
And they do blitz.
A big throw over to the 40 is connected with the 38-yard line.
Caught by number 10, Shackelford Jr.
And he's tackled pretty quickly at the 38-yard line by Khalif Gar. But that's going to be another first down for the Texans at the Viking 37. 37-yard line. Daniel Huggins for the Vikings in there also on that stop. First and 10, Texans at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and Huggins likes to be called Red as well.
Red, oh, that's right.
Symbolizing his hair.
All right, so Dollar turns to the sideline, gets a new signal. He's got twins left. Harris in the backfield with him. High snap, handoff to Harris. Comes around to the left, across the 35 to the 30. He's going to make it down to the 26-yard line.
Dragged out of bounds by Kate Tresh, number 20 again.
Kate Tresh over there. I kind of almost want to call Tresh the headhunter. Yeah, that guy has a real instinct for following the ball and getting in there in on the tackle, whether he's first contact or not. Kate Tresh also a baseball player. He's fun to watch over on the diamond in the spring. He plays catcher a lot of times. Yeah, it's first and 10 now for the Texans at the Viking 27-yard line.
Kate Tresh has been a headhunter since about the 3rd grade. He's always enjoyed.
Snap again. Harris takes a handoff up the middle across the 25 to the 20, down to about the 19-yard line.
He was brought down. He was brought down by number 33.
Javon Moore making the stop.
Him down.
Javon Moore.
That's going to bring up 2nd down and 2.
Second and 2.
At the 19-yard line.
They definitely had some gaps in the middle of that defensive line to run through. He had a good solid lane to get about 8 yards, so hopefully we can stop that up.
Lamar's a little pitch across the man in motion to number 12, and he's being tackled in the backfield. Tresh had him around the ankles, not letting go, and then 3 other Vikings came in and finished him off. Tresh lost his helmet on the play, so he'll have to come out for a play. But you know, Tresh got up and he's like, I don't care if my helmet's on or not. I'm tough enough to take care of this business.
Leading the charge.
Definitely Thor-like.
So that was number 10. Jerome Shackelford was the ball carrier. He came across in motion just in front of the quarterback. Quarterback kind of tossed it out to him a little bit. So now it's 3rd down and 12 for the Texans at the Viking 29-yard line.
Loss of 10 yards, 3rd down, 12.
Loss of yardage, big 3rd down coming up. Yep. You got twin receivers right, single left. Harris in the backfield with Dollar. Long snap count. Now they look over to the sideline to get a new play. Harris moves from the left side of the quarterback to the right. Here's a snap and a low snap. Dollar's running for his life. Looks like a holding call could have been there. He throws the ball out of bounds. That's the equivalent of a coverage sack or coverage, if you will.
Definitely. All receivers blanketed very nicely, very well.
Good man coverage.
Especially number 6, Gar, I saw he was covering Shackelford, and there was nowhere to throw it.
And Ryan, I thought I saw something that could have been called holding in the backfield against Sam. Wasn't called, maybe it wasn't holding. They can't see everything anyway. But now it's 4th down and 12 at the 29-yard line, probably outside of a normal high school kicker field goal range. So they're going for it. You can't really gain much by punching here. It's at no man's land. Exactly. Tripped receivers right. Harris in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollar steps back. He's looking for a receiver. Throws down towards the end zone, and it's broken up at the last minute.
Yes, definitely.
Pass intended once again for
trying to get the number.
Joshua Bolden.
The pass was intended for Joshua Bolden.
Broken up. Number 12.
Jordan Hope.
So, great job on that. Got his hands up right as the ball was coming into the receiver's hands. He knocked it away. There was no way for him to catch that ball. You know,
well said. That ball was perfectly thrown, but Hope, like you said, Ryan, got in there, knocked it out, so it couldn't be caught.
Yeah, just poked it out right at the last second. Got his head around.
Poked it out. I got you there. So now the Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line after that great defensive stand after a medium yardage drive.
32.
Yeah. It's going to be 1st down. We got
Moultrie takes the handoff. He's going to go around the left side. He's going to make it to the 30. Now he cuts up 35, 40-yard line. That'll be a 1st down run by Desmond Moultrie out to the 40.5 or the 40-yard line. So that's about an 11-yard gain for Moultrie, and that's good for Lamar Vikings 1st down.
Definitely a great job. I know he broke Phillips, tried to tackle him. He stepped up, broke that tackle. He broke one other tackle for the 1st down. So that was a great run off to the edge.
Coming back to the line of scrimmage, trips right, single receiver left. Moultrie in the backfield again with Dawson. First and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Moultrie in motion. Throws a pass to Javon
West, number 19.
Is across midfield, 45 tackles. And down to the 40-yard line.
Finally brought down by 9. Phillips finally brought him down.
So a beautiful screen pass, and that's going to be about a
58.
Correction, it's been
about a 20-yard gain roughly. That's at the 39-yard line inside Texan territory. First and 10 Vikings.
Definitely getting the confidence going with them. The offense is rolling, building. Quarterback's getting in rhythm, so we got a timeout.
Timeout is called by the Texans. I think they're kind of like, hey, we got to catch our breath because Lamar's been moving pretty upbeat tempo down the field on this drive.
I have noticed they've lined up at the line of scrimmage extremely quick after coming off defense punts. They just line up real quick and just get those players going, so they're trying to speed up the tempo of the game. Whether it's, it's not really taking much time off the actual game clock, but it's keeping the defense on their feet, getting them out of gas, and then gashing them on the corners to gain those big chunks of yards that they're doing. So
I like seeing that. That's a very good way to have a fast start. And like you say, keep the defense on their heels, keep them moving around and guessing. Eventually, we have to call a timeout, just catch the breath.
Exactly.
So the teams come out. The timeout is pretty much over. First and 10 for the Vikings at the Texan 39-yard line.
Twins right, twins left. Mostly in the backfield to Dawson's left. Motion out, and
that was Dayton Debs and, Matthew Shaw in motion. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like a false start by the offense. Looks like they weren't quite ready in the
offside.
Actually, it's going to be offside. So offside, we might have jumped also.
Houston. So the center, what happened is center sees defense jump offsides and he just snaps it immediately.
Yeah.
So Jack Dawson wasn't looking out for that snap,
but since they made contact, it's blown dead anyway, so 5-yard gain. First and 5, hand off to Moultrie at the middle, 35, 30, 25 to the 20-yard line. And it looks like he'll be brought down at the 20-yard line. That's a 14-yard gain. So number 14 brings down Moultrie on a 14-yard run. And another Viking first down at the 20-yard line, first and 10.
Definitely catching the defense off guard, just marching down the field.
So now we're coming out there, calling in the play from the sideline. We've got 2 receivers right, 1 left. Now we're going to have trips right. Moultrie in the backfield again with Dawson.
Get this offense rolling.
4:35 to go in the first quarter. Vikings lead 7-0. Here's a snap. Handoff to Moultrie. Goes up the middle with a flag on the play. Thrown from the secondary towards the line of scrimmage.
Got about a 3-yard gain, but we do also have that flag on the field. Chop block against the Vikings.
Someone
on the line of scrimmage, it looks like, just got a little bit low on their block, and that's what helped Moultrie get up for 3 yards. So that'll be, I think, a 10-yard penalty against the Vikings. 15 yards, that's right.
15 yards.
15 yards.
So that's pretty costly. So that's going to be now
first and 25
at the 35-yard line. Clock rolling, 4:26 to go in the first quarter. So now that changes your play call a little bit to probably not running up the middle on first and 25. Trips right, single left. Moultrie in the back.
Moultrie next to Dawson.
He's running for 14 yards of play.
Dawson back, he gets hit as he throws the ball, and it's in the hands by Javon West.
Jack Dawson did stay in the pocket and took a big hit as he let that ball go on the blind side.
But pops right back up.
Yeah, pops right back up, and he's okay.
He got blindsided pretty much by the time the guy that came around. Willie Washington was the defender that was out there on West, making it a little bit difficult for him to haul that pass. And so now, second down and 25 for the Vikings at the 35-yard line in Texan territory. The Vikings lead 7-0, 4:07 to play here in the first quarter. Vikings moving left to right if you're picturing watching the field from the booth. Man in motion for the Vikings. It's going to be a handoff to the 35. He's going to stretch it out to the 30. Now he cuts up to 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Jalen Jones for the Vikings.
Some all-purpose yardage for you.
So, what do you do on 2nd and 25? Run. Exactly.
Run the ball, catch the defense, run, hit the outside. If you can block those cornerbacks and get wide receivers, blocking for the running backs, they've got all day to run.
So we're going to get to see Juan Villegas try his second kick of the day, with the Vikings up 13-0, 3:57 to go in the first quarter.
20 is your snapper.
Cade Tresh is the deep snapper. Did I say? And the kick is up, and it is good.
It's up and good.
Do you need a Snickers?
I do. I get kind of hangry, and I'm not really myself.
Pacific 1 yards, 4 first downs.
So, a very effective drive for the Vikings. You want to summarize that drive for us there, Ryan?
Yeah, it was a 35-yard run by Jalen Jones. Time of possession was 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And they went a total of 71 yards off of 6 plays and 4 first downs. But the big one is that 15-yard chop block. That kind of pushed them back, but Jalen Jones broke quite a few tackles. He broke 3 tackles just on that run and squirts it off and runs into the end zone. I mean, he's a track star, so he's got the speed. Once he got past the linebackers, there's nobody else that was even going to try to catch him.
And it's kind of fun to see a guy who usually you think of as a receiver takes that handoff when he comes across in motion. Now he's a running back basically. What does he do? 35 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, he was a running back in elementary football, so he was he knows how to run the ball pretty well.
And a lot of his receiving yards are runs after the catch anyway. So
exactly.
Good point.
Yeah, it sets it up.
Okay. Bolden, number 2.
And it's going to be number 9, Virgil Phillips, and number 2, Bolden, back deep. And again, let's see if we see another pooch kick, or at least a kick away from Phillips.
Yeah, definitely kick it away.
So Villegas approaches the ball. And another pooch kick. It's going to come down at about the 34-yard line. Stop dead. I'll tell you what, and the Texans are slow to get to that ball, almost watching it to roll dead. Looks like Vikings are saying we have the ball. Let's see what the officials say when they unpile everybody.
Land was the closest to it.
Really slowly.
Who had it? 13?
Yes, Land had it.
Number 13 recovers
an
the short kick
on the field.
and for Land.
So Land for the Texans actually did recover the kick, but I tell you what, there was a shot right away, and that's the player that hit it, and he's still down on his hands and knees for the Vikings. Now he rolls over to his back.
Official timeout.
Might be number 6, Khalif Gar on that, which is a cornerback.
Well, you just hate to see anyone down on the ground, but he dove in for that ball, and a tough hit. Now he's going to get up on his own though. He's going to trot off the field.
Number 6, Khalif Gar.
Got the wind out there. He's really doing well. He says, I don't need to come out, but I think there's a rule. You need to come out after a play. But he was spinning around ready to get back on the field on defense.
35-yard line.
So now, once again, deja vu. The Texans started throwing 35-yard line after another pooch kick.
7-32.
At least it's better than giving up a touchdown.
Exactly right. There's the quarterback. He's in the backfield.
Harris, the tailback.
It's a pitch back to Harris. He goes around the right side. He's nowhere to go much. Now he comes back up to the left across the 40. Now he has room at the 45. Taking guys with him down to the 50-yard line.
To midfield.
So it was about 3 plays eventually that he dragged the last 5 yards.
Looks like number 3, Red Huggins with the tackle.
Number 3, leading the
Makes it to
charge.
the 49 yards inside Texans territory officially. And deja vu, a 14-yard run. Again, 1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 49-yard line.
Definitely.
Definitely got a snap, handoff to Harris. No, it's a keeper by Dollar. He's going to get in for anybody on that ground. No, it's going to be exactly no gain.
No gain. Sam
Jacob
Townsend.
Dollar. Townsend leading the charge for the Vikings.
County brought him down with the wrap-up, and they weren't fooling anybody with that.
They're giving him a gain of 1 yard to the midfield
So they
stripe.
do move it 1 yard to the 50-yard line, so officially 2nd down and 9 at the 50-yard line. But like you said, Townsend again, he's another one of those headhunters, follows that ball and not afraid to get in there.
But he's a very smart player.
High snap. It's a handoff this time to Harris up the middle off the right tackle. Caught at midfield to the 45-yard line. Going to make it to the 44-yard line before he's tackled by Kate Tresh.
The
And
Vikings
here again, Kate
Tresh.
Tresh.
Kate Tresh, yes sir.
Now we see Tresh tackle people at the sideline. Now we see him across on the left tackle box side.
He moves extremely well laterally.
3rd down and 3 for the Texans at the Viking 44-yard line. Big third down here.
3.
Harris in the backfield with the quarterback. He's got 2 receivers right, 1 left. One of them really in a slot position.
Snap's going to go over his head.
High snap, handoff to Harris up the middle across the first down marker to the 40-yard line. So that's going to be about a 4-yard gain.
Looks like Caden Hadawi
Bobby
and
Brown,
Jared
29.
brought him down along with Bobby Brown.
So downtown, Bobby Brown,
And Daniel Huggins.
Stop, and Hadawi all in there.
Hadawi.
1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 40-yard line. Reminiscent of that previous drive, about the same type of things happening. So hopefully this one stalls out like that one did.
So it looks like they get the ball moving just before they reach field goal range. It looks like they just stall out.
Here's the snap. It's a handoff to Harris. He's tackled immediately. Looks like it's going to be marked a loss of 2 yards back to the 42-yard line.
It's a great penetration by the defensive line.
Definitely stay. Now we've got an injured player, so we have a timeout on the field.
Simon Foster.
Yeah, that was Simon Foster on that
Official
last
timeout and injury on the
stopping.
field.
It didn't even look like he got blocked. It looks like they were just going to let him go, and
Kind of born in their backfield as they say
Loss of 2
sometimes.
yards on the play.
definitely.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10, but in the meantime, our trainers are attending to the injured player. We can't see his number right there. We'll let you know he's moving his legs. He's on his back. Here at the 1:33 mark to go in the 1st quarter, the Vikings lead 14-0.
2nd and 12, balls on the 42-yard line.
Can't really tell what they're trying to pay attention to. It looks like, it's his right knee that's getting most of the attention. So now they're kind of flexing, bending it out a little bit, trying to check range of motion in all directions.
Both teams on the knee.
One of our lead trainers, Rachel, out there, leading the treatment on the field. Tell you what, we have high quality trainer staff here at Lamar High School.
Definitely, it's always been a
So he does get up.
29.
Shaking up on the play, number 29,
Bobby Brown.
Let's give a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
So he gets up, he's leaving the field on his own power, and
Loss
he
of
just
2 yards
towers
on the
above
play,
everyone out
2nd
there
down
with
and
him.
12.
Yeah, he's a large young man.
When we say large, we mean vertically and built like a brick house.
Yes.
Limping just a little bit, but coming off the field on his own power. So as we resume play here in just a moment, it'll be 2nd down and 12 for the Texans at the Viking 42-yard line. I think they had 2nd and 12 earlier in their game before they lost some yardage.
2nd and 12.
So, yeah, it looks like the running back might have gotten just rolled up on that knee and a little slight stinger. Hopefully it'll be all right and he'll be back out there.
Single receiver left, couple of receivers right.
Looks like
Harris
three
in the-
receivers to the right.
Yep, Harris in the backfield. Snap, Dollar looks back. He throws over to Harris in the flat.
Pass
Who drops
intended
the
for
pass.
number 32,
And
Owen
maybe
Harris.
just as well that he dropped it, because I think that would have been a loss of a yard if he had kept that ball. He was falling down. So now 3rd down and 12 for the Texans at the Viking 42-yard line. Another big 3rd down play here.
3rd down
Ryan.
and 12 from the 42.
A large, very, very big 3rd down. We got 1:06 left on the play clock before the half.
No, 1st quarter.
Oh, 1st quarter.
It's been a long 1st quarter. It feels like it should be halftime, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, all this action in the 1st quarter. Okay, twins left, single right. Harris in the backfield. Dollar calling the signals. We're showing the blitz. He steps back. He's getting some pressure. He throws the ball to the right. It's caught. They're short of the first down.
Dollar's pass is caught.
It's going to be just about a yard and a half or so short.
I think number
Maybe 2 yards short.
two did it, and
Looks like Matthew
12.
Shaw.
Pass is
Brought him down.
caught by number 2.
No, it's
Bolden.
caught by 2, but
Caught by number 2. That'd be Joshua Bolden. So this brings up 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it again. It was 4th down. Now, last time it was 4th
down,
and 12,
2.
and they didn't make it. 4th and 2 here. Handoff to Harris. He's trying to get back down, but he gets across the 30-yard line, and that's going to be a first down at the 29-yard line.
yeah, and Erickson, it looks like, wrapped him up behind the line of
First and
scrimmage
10,
and just kind of
Sam
held him
Houston.
down, and he was only able to get a yard or so on that play.
So they are now 1-1 on 4th down attempts.
Who did we give the tackle to?
So 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 29-yard line. The clock is about to expire here at the end of the first quarter. 3 seconds, 2, 1.
And they snapped
They snap it just before the horn. It's a handoff. No, it's not a handoff. Quarterback keeps it.
Quarterback
Gets
keep
up to
by
about
Dollar.
the 25-yard line.
Again, about 4 yards, 3 yards.
Yeah, it looks like it's hard to see if they're going to mark him at the 26, maybe.
Yeah, 26 is
The tackle
Number
to
13, Sam
number
Townsend,
13.
in on that tackle for the Vikings among a couple of others.
Into the
So a
first
3-yard
quarter.
gain to the
Lamar
26-yard line. That's into the first quarter.
Sam Houston,
With the score of Lamar 14, Sam Houston 0. Ryan, what are some of your observations from this busy, kind of long first quarter?
I guess with all the plays and everything, it was a lot longer than it anticipated. Either with the quick scoring
Anytime is a good time to visit the
all
concession
the passes and incompletions and everything kind of just stops the clock and just kind of drives that quarter and makes it a lot longer than
On your way to the
what it
concession
feels like.
stand, stop by the Spirit
I love how
table.
Lamar's taking the
At the
field.
northwest end of the home
Their
features,
offense is lining up a
the
lot
latest
faster,
Spirit wear.
a lot quicker, just to get the plays in, get the sophomore quarterback out there, and get him a lot in rhythm and keep him in rhythm. Because once he gets lined up and he knows the play and he knows where it's going, where he's got his first or second read only, and he doesn't have to sit back there for 3, 4, 5, 6 reads. It gets him in a rhythm, and he can actually, he can focus in on the plays and getting the ball out and driving them to 14-0 first quarter.
And showing some pretty good highlights on defense also, bright spots on defense. Killing that first drive of the Texans. Now they have the ball for the second time in the game. And
Start of the
kind
second.
of threatening to score again here. I say
Second
threatening
down,
again, not to
7.
score again.
Yeah.
So second down and
26-yard
7 when we start up here at the beginning of the second quarter. The ball at the 26-yard line of the Vikings. Second and 7 for the Texans.
What I like about the first quarter is the linebackers were shooting the gap.
It's a keeper by Dollar. He gets across the
Dollar on the
25 to the 24-yard line, so about a 2-yard gain it looks like.
Looks like the entire defensive line helped out on that tackle along with the linebackers. So
Hit on the tackle.
Mainly 35.
7, Jaron Rose.
We're going to have third down and 5 for the Texans at the Viking 29 or 24-yard line.
it looks like Mercado, Erickson, and Roseman on that tackle.
Here's the snap. Dollar's back. He gets hit as he throws the ball.
Flag on the play.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
It's incomplete.
It was thrown from the defensive secondary. It looks like it's going to be a holding call against the
Indication of holding
Texans.
against
I'm
Sam
assuming we're
Houston.
going to decline that penalty to bring up fourth down. Because Sam Townsend got in and hit the quarterback as he was releasing the pass, which made it uncatchable. I mean, it was kind of close to the receiver. Might have hit him a little bit. But assuming we decline this penalty, it's going to be fourth down and 5. So I guess the choice is you take 3rd and 15, or do you do 4th and 5? So here's the official call, holding.
Holding call against Sam
They're
Houston.
going to take the yardage. So now it'll be 3rd down and 15 at the 34-yard line.
Kind of pushes them out of field goal range, because before they were kind of in that field goal range. If they had a pretty good kicker, you could have hit that field goal on 4th down and put some points on the board. Now you're replaying 3rd down relying on your defense. They've been stepping up tonight.
Harrison Dollar in the backfield.
Twins left, single right. Harris is in the backfield with the quarterback Dollar. Takes a snap, steps back, looks to his left. Now he's under pressure. Throws to the right, down to the end zone, and it's going to be interference against Matthew Shaw, who was pretty much all over him. Almost looked like they were dancing.
Yeah, they were both locked in arms there. Matthew Shaw. It's number 12, Jordan Polk again.
Jordan Polk, number 12, the defender.
Oh, my mistake. I saw the 2 but not the 1. Thank you. Matthew Shaw wouldn't be up there on defense, most likely would he?
He could play it, but I'm going to say he wasn't.
So that was number 12, not number 2.
Yes. Number 2 was a receiver, so it was intended for
offsetting penalties.
So, and it looks like
it was over.
So there was offsetting penalties. I only saw the 1 flag. So now 3rd and 15 again from the 34-yard line.
Looks like they called a little bit of dancing on both ends.
Okay.
So we're going to replay 3rd down.
Here's the snap. Dollar steps back again. He's in the pocket. Gets pressure through. It's high. It's caught at the 18-yard line by number 2 Bolton. But he's hit immediately by Pope.
And it looks like he
12, the defender.
It's that same matchup before. Now that's not. Oh, no.
They're going to call it first down.
No. It can't be called a first down. It was at the 18-yard line. This should be 4.
They called it first down.
Huh. I thought the change was just farther than that. They didn't go 20.
At the 19
right there. 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Yeah.
So I guess it was exactly 15 yards from the 34. My bad. 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 19-yard line. 3 receivers tight left. Here's Harris up the middle. No, it's number 7 Dollar on the keeper on the left side across the 15. Flag on the play.
33 and
looks like
Javon Moore,
Javon Moore and Caden Hadawi brought him down on that keeper, and I know Sam Townsend was on that backside chasing
We got an illegal block by Sam Houston. Looks like an illegal block is called.
So we're going to back him up again.
Yep, so we'll replay 1st down, but it'll be 1st and I'm guessing 20, I think, is a 10-yard penalty on the illegal block. From the spot of the foul. Effectively a 5-yard penalty or 6-yard penalty. So it's going to be
from the spot of the ball, a 10-yard penalty, so it's going to
at
be
the 25.
And 16 at the 25.
And that's math.
I'm trying my best without a calculator. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Harris in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollar throws immediately to number 2 Bolden. He gets to his knee.
Bolden on the catch.
Now, too late. That matchup,
down by number 12,
that matchup is interesting to watch already tonight. Polk and Bolden, they're testing us out over there. And so far, it's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
So it looks like there was 1 yard on the play. So it's 2nd down and 15 at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, it's because Deshaun Gaddy is actually out this game. Unfortunately, his father passed away, so our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family right now.
Definitely so. Here's the snap. Dollar looks, he throws deep into the end zone, way out of the reach of anyone. The intended receiver is going to be Bolden. But it was 20 yards past him. Red Huggins, I believe, is out there on the coverage. So now it's 3rd and 15, and again, we've said it a lot of times, but big 3rd down really here. 3rd and about maybe 14 at the 23-yard line is where it's marked.
Yes.
3rd and 14 from the 23. So now we're going to find out how strong and how willful this Viking defense is. And it's tricky. Are they going to pass, or are they going to try to fake us and then have Harris go up the middle around the end?
Or what about Dollar on the keeper?
True. He's been very successful to our quarterback. All right, here's a hand. No, it's a pass from Dollar to the 23 across the 20. And he's going to be tackled by Caden Hadawi at about the 17-yard line. So that's going to bring up 4th down and about 8.
Yeah, 4th and 8.
So a pass to Bolden. Hadawi right there brings him down soon after he takes a couple of steps.
4th down and 8.
So now 4th and 8 at the 17-yard line. That would be about a 32-yard field goal. Not going to do it on 4th and 8. Trips left, Harris in the backfield.
4th down, 8.
Scholar steps back. He throws straight across the middle, and it's caught at the 3, at the 2, at the 1. And that's going to be a first down play for the Texans at the 1 yard line.
12.
Catch is good
by Caulfield.
Caulfield, number 12.
And now they hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage quickly. We're trying to get a player off the field. Here's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle. And let's see if he didn't make it. It looks like he's going to be just short of about the half-yard line. So it'll be second down and goal for the Texans.
Brought down by 47.
Second and goal at the 1.
That is Anderson. Unfortunately.
47 on our roster.
For Lamar, Jeffrey
High. So second down and goal just inside the 1 yard line. They do have, it looks like, 3 receivers left. They're going to have 1 right.
So it's a bend-don't-break defense right now, but unfortunately it's second and 1 on the
Harris in the backfield. They're showing blitz for Lamar. Here's the handoff. He pushes his way up the middle and gets into the end zone. Touchdown Houston by Harris.
From 1 yard out.
They shot the gaps, and unfortunately the linebackers just chose the outside gaps, and he went straight up the middle way behind the center, and it was a easy touchdown. Barely got touched.
So just like that, the score is now Lamar 14, Sam Houston 6.
Point after will come from Gonzalez, number 88.
The kicker for Sam Houston, Gonzalez.
Number 44, Smith, the snap.
Here's a snap, the hold, the kick is up. It goes and hits the upright. So it's no good. It looked like it was leaning or aiming towards the left a little bit, and it hit the. Ryan, sounds silly. You got to get a point if you can hit the upright. How many times would you go out there and try to hit an upright and miss it?
How many chances do you get to hit the upright and not actually hit it?
Exactly.
It's like a 1 in 10 opportunity.
Well, there's it. How about the scoring drive there, Ryan?
The time of possession was 7 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock. 16 plays, 6 first down, just because of all the penalties on 65 yards total. So it was capped off by the rush by number 32, Harris, it looks like. So,
and then the missed point after. Hit the upright. Now, in the event this should be a close game at the end, that could be an important point that they lost out on there.
Every point counts, so definitely.
Well, the Vikings come out to receive the kickoff. Looks like we're going to have Moultrie and West deep for the Vikings. West is on the far side, Moultrie on this side along the hash marks. And Gonzalez set to kick off for the Texans with 8:41 to go. In the second quarter, the Vikings lead the Texans 14-6.
Can we get his name?
David. They don't know his last name. He's a walk-on from the soccer team.
Number 82, David, to kick.
Here's the kick. It's deep down the middle of the field. Looks like West is going to field it at the goal line. He does at the 5, the 10, 15, 20. Got room by 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. He can take it all the way. He's going to go 30, 20, right down the sideline. Touchdown on the kickoff return by Trevon West. How is that? Trevon West.
Trevon West. Now we've got a dangerous kickoff returner.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
Don't kick it deep pass now.
That's right. Very good point there. I was talking earlier about their threat on the kickoff returns. Well, we just took one 100 yards because he fielded that ball exactly at the goal line, went coast to coast, and now just like that, 20-6, waiting for our point after attempt.
Come on, Tim. Where's the score?
Well, I tell you what, that is exciting to watch because he broke through a couple of guys. There was plenty of nice blocks, but then it was his acceleration from about the 30-yard line.
Definitely, he turned on the Jets and nobody was even really near him.
Viegas to attempt.
Viegas to attempt to point after. See if he can go 3 for 3 tonight. Big trash snaps. Dawson Holt's kick is up right down the middle, and it's now 21-6. Well, what's the best way to answer a score, Ryan?
Right after. On the kickoff.
And that kind of takes the wind out of their sails. On their second possession, or third, the Texans got that consistent drive all the way through, assisted with some penalties and some other stuff, but they did get down and score. you got to know they feel that momentum, and okay, we've got something going now, but right away we answer with the 100-yard kickoff return, and it's got to take the wind out of their sails a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he was contested twice, and that was it. And he just went straight down the sideline. I mean, coast to coast.
He was marching down those little hash marks along the sideline perfectly, perfect straight line. Never stepped out of bounds.
It's like he was running a 100-yard dash.
Exactly. Not the metric 100-meter dash, right? You're going back to my old days when I was a kid, and everything was in yards. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I'm going to put some money out here unofficially and say Pooch kick to about the 34-yard line. What do you think, Ryan?
They do have Caulfield in the back now and Phillips along with them, but yeah, I plan on they'll hit it to land again right at the 35-yard line-ish, maybe the 30. Give them a chance. Yep,
Pooch kick. It's going to be hitting down at the 30. Oh, and it rolls, and the Vikings capture it. The Vikings recover on the road. Post number 12, Jordan Post. Wow.
Well, it just, he pooch kicked it, and it bounced right back to him, and Jordan was sprinting down there unblocked and just scoops it in.
And Ryan, let's going to go back to something you said earlier. How do you contain someone that's a threat like Phillips? You stay in your lanes. Well, Polk stayed in his lane, followed the ball. It took a good Viking bounce because it had that backspin. And at first you think, man, the Texans should have jumped on it, but I don't think they really had a good chance to when it changed paths, and Polk was pursuing it. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Texan 27-yard line, in business again.
Moultrie in the backfield.
Yeah, twins to the left, single receiver to the right. Moultrie's in the backfield.
It's a handoff to Moultrie. He goes up the middle, gets to the 25-yard line. They're going to stop his progress there.
20 and 58.
He was met immediately by number 58.
Number 58 leading the charge on
Steve Delorbe.
That's Steve Delorbe.
Yep, he was right there. And number 43 I saw also down in there. That's going to be Trey Flood Hensley.
Trey Flood Hensley also in on the stop. A gain of 2 yards. Second
down and 8 for the Vikings at the 25-yard line. Moultrie in the backfield again. Twins left, single right. Handoff. Nope, it's Raleigh at Jax. Dawson is scrambling out, but he finally gets hit by 2 players. 3 guys are on top of him.
43 and 21.
And that was a tough hit. And it looks like he might have got his ankle
Jones, number 43.
rolled up on just a little bit.
He's limping.
Trey Flood
He may have to come out, and you know if he does, we do have a good backup quarterback in Caden Hadawi.
It's not clear who has possession.
And it looks like Dawson's limping around. They're not sending anyone in yet. He hasn't officially said I want out, but Ryan, he's really wincing.
Yeah, definitely. He's fighting through the pain right now.
Looks like the 34.
Yeah, we're looking at the line of scrimmage at the 34-yard line. Sam Houston Texans are contesting that they got the ball, but Dawson was already down.
There's definitely some confusion out there. Now the Vikings are going to call timeout.
And take a look at Dawson's ankle.
I think so.
Give him some time.
He's really coming off of there, wincing a little bit. Looks like it's his left ankle that's giving him some problems. So here we are. It's going to be 3rd down and 3rd down and 17. Yeah. 3rd down and 17 at the 33-yard line. Got to get to the. That's the 34-yard line. Okay. 3rd down and 17 at the 34-yard line. They've got to get to the 17. Trying to get my math to work in my head again. So here we come out. Dawson does come back out. He's not showing the limp that he had when he came off the field.
Yeah, you needed just a couple seconds to recover from that.
Trips left, single receiver right. Looks like Michael Bradley out in the backfield with Dawson.
Trips left, single right.
So this is a big 3rd down for our offense now. Here's a snap. It's a handoff to Bradley up the middle. 35. He gets to the 34. He's still on his hands and knees. Gets to about the 33-yard line.
Number 58 making the stop.
Again on that. Wraps him up kind of late, but he was fighting for every inch.
That's going to bring up 4th down and 11 at the 33-yard line. 7:19 to go. It's off rolling.
It's 4th down and 11.
And we're going for it. Bradley in the backfield. Twins right, single left.
kind of in that no man's land. Motion out from Jalen Jones.
Flag on the play.
It's a free pass,
and it's caught down at the 3-yard line.
Pass is caught.
So it looks like we probably had a free play there with the flag. Looks like it may be offsides.
It looks like number 14.
That's going to be Genoa Baylog. Baylog.
Offside.
What a catch down at the 2-yard line.
First and goal, Lamar.
Jack Dawson stepped back, and it looked like he knew where he was going without any thought about it. Threw that pass. The pattern was run perfectly. Jumped up over the defender.
Perfect pass. Yeah, perfect pass. Great catch by Blog.
26 yards.
So
Jack knew that he had that free play.
26-yard gain is first and goal for the Vikings at the 2-yard line. Twins right, single left. Bradley in the backfield again. Here's a snap. Bradley up the middle. And he's going to get inside the goal.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Vikings.
They scored 27-6, pending the extra point. So yeah, Bradley just lined up real quick, right over the center, get a good push, get that center, get your lineman low, and move the defensive tackles in, and Bradley come over the top of him for the touchdown.
You get someone powerful with those driving legs like Bradley has. That's what you want against a goal line defense. So here we got K-Tresh on the snapper. Jack Dawson going to hold. Villegas on the kick. The snap, the ball is down, the kick is up, and it's good. And that's going to bring our score to Lamar 28, Sam Houston 6.
Scoring drive. 26 yards, 1 minute 28 seconds.
So just when it looked like the Texans were going to get some momentum to get back in this thing, 2 touchdowns in a row by the Vikings, 28-6. Ryan, tell us about that scoring drive.
It took a minute 28 seconds off the clock. Total yards is 26 yards off of 5 plays and 2 first downs made. Mainly that big free play, basically. Once Jack Dawson saw that flag go out for the defensive offsides, he knew just to throw it up for Blog and let him go out and make the catch. And he made an amazing catch off of a great pass down at the 2-yard line. So made it real easy for the touchdown. So it was a great job. So we'll see if the special teams can recover another kickoff.
Villegas to kick for Lamar.
I want to give a shout out to my sister and brother-in-law Susan and Mel Skaggs. They're listening to us from up in Bartonville up near Denton. Glad to know that they're supporting the Vikings on the broadcast tonight. We want to thank everyone who's out there listening. Onside kick attempt. It didn't go 10 yards. It is fielded by the Texans.
57 fielded that. That is Jesus Gerardo.
Jesus Gerardo.
Of the onside kick attempt.
One of the benefits of growing up in West Texas.
Yes.
Sam Houston.
Ron, I still remember when I moved to Fort Stockton with our family, and I saw in 2nd grade, the first day of school, there was a kid, and the name on his desk was Jesus, but I didn't know that. I went home and said, Jesus is in my class. And
Jesus is always with us.
That's right. And that was my introduction to
41-yard line of scrimmage.
But regardless of all that, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 41-yard line. They start with a short field after that onside kick attempt to see if we can catch them off guard. Here's the snap up the middle by Harris. He's grabbed immediately. He's going to be stopped for.
Owen Harris.
Looks like they're going to say no gain. He might have made it to the 40, but they're going to say nope. Stopped at the 41-yard line for no gain. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Jaron Roseman, number 77, I believe, and number 41, David Turley, possibly on the tackle,
along with Mercado, definitely stopped it. It was a good gang tackle by everybody.
2nd down and 10.
And he had nowhere to go.
Twins left, single right. No, it's not a handoff. Dollar throws down deep. It's going to be overthrown, almost intercepted.
Dowie almost picked that one off.
And we've got that matchup again. Number 2 Bolden, number 12 Polk. And the ball was overthrown. Polk again, great defensive coverage, man on man with Bolden. But the ball overthrown, and Hidawi was almost able to dive forward and catch that. But no doing. Now it's 3rd and 10. And again, big 3rd down for the Vikings defense. 6 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. Vikings with a commanding lead, 28-6 right now, but wanting to stop this drive that has started at the 41-yard and see if they can stop it before it goes anywhere.
Got trips to the left.
Here's the snap. Dollar looks. He throws across the middle. It's connected at the 32-yard line, so that's going to be a first down.
Wasn't originally
32 to 27.
Shackelford.
27-yard line, I believe.
Shackelford on the catch, but it originally wasn't intended for him. The pass kind of sailed a little bit.
Okay.
Shackelford was right there in the area of the pass and was able to come up with it.
First and 10 Texans at the Viking 27-yard line.
Running trips left again.
Harris in the backfield with Dollar. It's a handoff to Harris up the middle to the 25-yard line. He gets 2, maybe 2.5 yards. Looks like they're going to mark it down between the 25 and 24-yard line.
That
was a big hit by Cade Tresh as well. I mean, he just wrapped him up, spun him around, and then threw him
Gain of
on
3 yards, second and 7.
He is out there head hunting.
Definitely so. So the ball spotted exactly at the 24-yard line, second down and 7.
They're running twins to the left again.
Slot man in motion. Dollar's going to keep it up the middle to the 20, gets down to the 16-yard
Dollar on
line.
the keep.
Maybe the 18.
5.
Now he fell forward farther than where they're marking it.
Madawi making the
I
stop.
don't know if his knee went down first, but they're going to mark that ball at the 19-yard line. It looked like for a little while he might have had the first down.
He was lunging forward, so it just depends on where his knee originally hit.
Third down and 2.
Yeah, so third down and 2 at the 19-yard line for the Texans in Viking territory. 4:45 to go in the second quarter. Here's the snap. It's a handoff to Harris up the middle again. He's going to get the first down and more.
Harris up the
Inside
middle,
the
first and
15-yard
10
line.
for Sam Houston.
Looks like they're going to mark him down somewhere around the 14-yard line. We'll wait and see officially.
Looks like Cade Tresh went low on him.
It's going to be at the 15-yard line, but that's still enough for the first down. First and 10.
Offense lines up very quickly, trying to catch defense off guard when they're trying to, roll in new plays, get fresh legs, give their defense
First and
a
10.
breather here and there, and the offense just lines
From the
right back,
14-yard line.
right up, just like what Lamar was doing as well, trying to catch that defense off guard, trying to get them gassed. Handoff. Nope.
Dollar keeps it around the left side. He's going to get net out there as he stretches the play out. Looks like
Leading the charge, Red Huggins.
Red Huggins number 3. I saw Sam Townsend out there also on the stop.
Yeah.
That's going to be a gain of about 1 yard, if that, maybe a half a yard. You have the ball at the 14-yard line.
Second down and 10.
So second down and
At the 14.
about 10 yards at the 14-yard line.
The defense is really trying to step up right here, trying not to give them
bend not break.
Yeah, exactly. Bend not break, and that's why the score shows 28-6.
Trips left. Harris again in the backfield with Dollar. Here's the snap. Dollar looks over toward the left side. It's a completion at the 6-yard line. He gets down inside the 5 to about the 3 before he's pushed out of bounds.
Number 10, Shackelford, from Shackelford.
And that's going to be a first and goal as they connect the pass to Shackelford. And he gets to about the 3-yard line. First and goal for the
Sam
Texans.
Houston.
He was brought out of bounds from Gar.
Khalif
Gar.
At the
Was set up
3-yard
about
line.
10 yards outside.
First and goal. Khalif Gar pushing him out of bounds.
So we got a first down and goal on the 3-yard line. So we'll see if Lamar's defense can step up and really push him back.
Timeout on the field by the Texans.
Should have one left.
I believe that's one timeout left for the Texans,
concession
yes.
stands at the north end of the stadium. Great selection of food and drinks available at the concession stand. On your way to the concession stand.
So I think the defense is stepping up.
By the Spirit Sales Table. Located at the northwest
Bending a
end
little bit, but
of the
not
home
breaking
bleachers.
as much yet. So we'll see if they can, just really make a good goal line stand on first down and on the 3-yard line. So
you do take away a little bit of the passing opportunity because you can't have a downfield pass. You still have the opportunities in the flat or in the corner of the end zone, but there's nothing you're going to be able to burn a long pass.
Yeah.
So it contains the offense a little bit. I guess you give a little bit of the advantage to the defense there, even though we're doing well on our man-to-man coverage on the pass plays.
Yeah, typically we've been set up really well on man. I know Bolden's got somewhat of a size advantage over Polk, but Polk's been playing his heart out. I mean, every chance he gets, he's sticking his hands right there, making that ball uncatchable.
Using everything he has, everything he can. Good point, Ryan. Will the players come back out as we resume 3:27 to go in the second quarter? First and goal for the Texans at the Viking 3-yard line. Trips left, Harris in the backfield.
Loading up that left side so they can try to maybe get some free field or free running over to the right. Looks like
there's a snap, hand off to Harris. There's a couple of players with him inside the 1-yard line. No touchdown. They don't make it across the goal line.
Second and goal.
And the ball's going to be spotted at or inside the 1-yard line. Second down and goal, so a gain of 2 yards officially.
Yeah, he was met right at the line of scrimmage, and then he just fought his way.
And now we've got a timeout for an injured player. Looks like one of the Texans is on his back, and he's got a leg cramp or some type of a leg injury. And Ryan, those leg cramps, even though they're not quote a debilitating injury, man, they can be painful and just put you in that situation that
definitely
bring tears to a grown man sometimes.
Yeah.
28-6 is our score. There's 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the second quarter. An action-packed game so far. The score, it's a pretty good margin. The Texans have a chance to bring it back to a 2-score game, but it's been quite an interesting game, including the 100-yard touchdown return on the kickoff for the Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. Sam Houston's been driving, but every chance that they get inside the red zone, somehow, some way, either penalties or the sack brings them back beyond field goal range. So unfortunately, fortunately for us, they haven't been able to score as many points as they could have, just by simple mistakes. But the defense has been set up, stepping up in this situation. It's like
71.
Looks like number 71, Cameron Landa, is making his way off the field. One of the biggest guys out there,
walking off under his
getting just a little bit of assistance. And that's going to bring up now second down and goal for the Texans at the 1-yard line.
Dollar getting the play.
Clock is rolling at 3 minutes remaining in the half.
We're just under 3 minutes and a half.
They come up to the line of scrimmage now. Again, trips left. No one in the backfield.
Dollar tries to sneak it in right up the center.
Oh, he was under center. Harris was in the backfield. He does get across the goal line before it's pushed backwards. So it's forward progress. The ball breaks the plane, and now it's going to be 28-12 in favor of the Vikings. Ryan, here's a couple of scores of games going on right now. The last I've seen on the Fox Sports Friday Night Football website, Arlington High leads North Crowley 21-0 in the first quarter. Martin leads Bowie 36-0 in the second quarter. And Mansfield leads Pasco 34-0 in the second quarter. So here we go with the point after attempt for
Gerardo, number 57 to kick. Number 1, Nash to hold.
The Texans. Kick is up, and it's good.
It's a line drive.
Kick is good.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of lift on it, but it cleared the line of scrimmage and every players. So 28-13 now. Ryan, I think you're going to have the scoring
4 minutes, 14 seconds.
Yeah,
After also good.
Took 4 minutes, 14 seconds off the play clock. Off of 8 plays, 41 yards total, and 3 first downs on that, capped off by the Dollar run under center for 1 yard for the touchdown. So, yeah, unfortunately, Martin likes to run up that score on Bowie. That's kind of their MO. Is they definitely they don't stop.
Yeah,
that pedal is pushed down all the way.
And you remember was it a couple of seasons ago? They would go for 2 on every touchdown for a while also. So, hey, out in West Texas, for anyone who cares, Tascosa from Amarillo leads Odessa High 14-9 at half.
Deep for Lamar, Moultrie,
Midland leading their crosstown rival Midland High 21-7 in the second. And Odessa Permian leads Wolfforth Friendship, Wolfforth near Lubbock, and that's 24-7 in favor of the Permian Panthers at the halftime. We'll get you some more of all of our 6A scores as we can.
Kopetsky, your kicker, number 26.
So we got a new kicker in.
It's a squid kick, and it rolls off of one of our players' hands, but it looks like we're going to have the recovery, but let's see as they uncover the pile.
Yeah, it was definitely bounced around, and
Lamar does have the ball.
Yeah, so it was bobbled by one of our guys, but thank God we got it.
The onside kick.
Yeah, because that would have been a big turn of momentum. Yeah, had they recovered that.
Looks like 23 came up with the ball. Jalen Jones.
Jalen Jones on the recovery.
So with
it's a good heads-up play by him.
2:40 to go in the second quarter, Lamar will start with good field position at their own 38-yard line. Now in the district next to ours, Abilene High is trailing Haltom 28-21 at the almost at halftime. Fossil Ridge is trailing Timber Creek 22-21 in the second, and then yesterday Keller beat Weatherford 52-0.
Dawson in the shotgun, Moultrie to his right.
We got
Trips left.
Moultrie in the backfield.
Trips left, single receiver to the right.
Flag on the play. It looks like false start against the Vikings. Center might have waggled the ball a little bit.
Looks like Sam Houston was trying to draw them off sides as well. Their defense is looks like they're trying to set up a blitz and kind of scared the center a little bit.
Offsides.
False start.
Let's do that again.
False start against the Vikings.
Against
Back
Lamar.
them
The
up 5
call.
yards, and we're going to replay it down.
Offsides.
It's going to be first and 15
5-yard penalty. First down 15.
at the 33.
Vikings come to the line of scrimmage. Trips left, single right. Moultrie in the backfield. He does take the handoff up the middle. He's going to get maybe
Moultrie
a yard
up the middle.
on first and 15.
He was met right in the backfield by Omar Derme, which is the defensive lineman, number 92 for the Texans. So met him immediately.
That's going to bring up second down and 14 at the 34-yard line.
Second down and 14.
The rolling clock, just right at 2 minutes. To
Dawson
go.
steps back, throws, and he's just out of the reach
Pass intended for Dubs.
Dayton Dubs
Incomplete.
at the 50-yard line. So that'll bring up third down and 14 now.
Big third down now. You know, we gotta. They just scored, so we gotta answer that. So, gotta get Jack Dawson back out on his rhythm. Got set up, trips to left, single receiver to the right.
Here's the snap. Dawson looking for a receiver. He's throwing downfield. He's got, it's intercepted by number 9, Phillips. That's the return guy. He's across midfield to 50, 45, 40. He won't go down easily. He takes it to the 34-yard line. And there's the danger, not only of the interception, but that's the man that returns the kickoffs and punts. The ball thrown not quite as accurately as you would like to. Phillips was there and snagged it.
First and 10, Sam.
He had Matthew Shaw open, and he threw to that area. It's just, unfortunately, we also had another receiver running another pass out there, and the routes just kind of let it
First and 10,
set up
Sam.
for Phillips to step up into that pass, intercept it.
So just like that, the Texans are going to have the ball first and 10 at the Viking 34-yard line. Let's see if our defense can keep them out of the end zone and maintain the 15-point lead that the Vikings currently enjoy, 28-13. Trips left, Harris in the backfield. The snap, no, there's going to be some flags because there was movement all over the line of scrimmage. False start's going to be the call. That'll back them up 5 yards. And I like that because it'll make it 5 yards farther from the end zone. So it'll be first down and 15 now at the 39-yard line.
Back to the 39-yard line. First down, 15.
Sam Houston's waiting for the play call. We got trips to the left.
Harris in the backfield again. He's the workhorse running back. Here's the snap. It's not a handoff. Dollar throws out to the flat. It's low. Did he catch it? No, incomplete. If he had caught that ball, it was going to be a yard loss.
Joshua Bolden.
It was intended for Bolden, and unfortunately he just skipped the ball to him on a quick little bubble pass.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 15 at the 39-yard line.
2nd down, 15 at the 39.
Sam Houston's still lined up. Oh, they're going to switch Bolden to the other side. So it's going to be twins to the left, single receiver to the right.
Harris in the backfield as usual. Now we move, looks like Huggins out there to cover the other receiver on the right. An immediate pass over to Bolden at the 35. He catches it. He goes to the 31-yard line.
Number 2, Joshua Bolden.
Missed it by 13.
Looks like Sam
Bishop hit
Townsend
by number 13,
made the original
Sam
hit.
Townsend.
That was a quick, immediate throw over to the flat on this side and about 3 yards after the catch. So now it's going to be
Gain of
3rd
8
down and
yards,
7
down and-
at the
third down and
31-yard line. Big 3rd down again for the Viking defense. See if they can keep the Texan offense at bay. 1:21 to go in the half, so the clock not really working in the favor too much for the Texans as it rolls. I think they have 1 timeout left.
Yep, one
In the half.
10 seconds left remaining.
Here's a snap. Dollar steps back. He's looking left. Now he's got pressure. He's going to scramble, and he's going to run over sideways. And it's going to be probably just about no gain, so officially probably not a sack for anybody as he didn't get
Looks like they got a yard maybe on that play.
Yeah.
It wasn't much, unfortunately, because Dollar was running.
It looks like they're going to keep it at the 31-yard line. Ryan, that's going to bring up 4th down and 7.
4th down, 7 at the 31.
Definitely way out of field goal range.
No gain on the play.
Out of field goal range, out of timeouts.
It looks
Clock is
like they're
running.
lining up.
Timeout
At
remaining.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, and they're going to run it down as low as possible. They're going to try to go into the half, 28-13.
I would try to score.
Yeah.
Now there's a timeout called
Timeout
by the
call. Sam
Texans.
Houston, Texans.
That was the final at 20 seconds
Interesting
remaining.
use. They let a lot of time roll off the clock. That is their final timeout, but I would think they're going to try to score. They're going to want more than 20 seconds on the clock.
Especially with no timeouts left.
Had they gotten the 1st down, that's going to stop the clocks to at least move the chains. Had they gotten out of bounds, that'll stop the clock.
Out of the half.
You know, incomplete pass, well, that's going to be a ball goes over on downs anyway. Interesting clock management by the Texans coaching staff. So 4th and 7 here at the 31-yard line inside Viking territory.
Both teams at each other's sidelines talking it over.
Now they come back onto the field. So it looks like it's, they've got time for 2 or 3 plays if they can get them off quickly. But meanwhile, the immediate attention, 4th and 7 trips. Well, twins left, single right.
Harris in the backfield. Next
Harris in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollar steps back. He's looking to throw.
Intended to Bolden.
And it's way out of his range. He was getting a little bit of pressure. And I think he threw it maybe before he wanted to. Do you think Bolden did the right pattern? Or do you think he busted it?
No, I think he ran the right pattern. I think Dollar was getting too much pressure too quickly, and he had to kind of
Ball
hurry
goes over on
that.
downs. It's 1st and 10, Lamar.
Well,
but it was
16
well covered
seconds
regardless.
remaining in the half.
So how about that? After the interception and the decent return by Phillips, they don't move the ball really, other than making up some of the yardage and a little bit more on that false start penalty.
Yeah.
So they didn't get a 1st down on that drive, and now the Vikings take the ball back, 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line, 16 seconds to play. They come out
Dawson
with
on the
twins left,
shotgun.
single right.
Bradley to his right.
Michael Bradley in the backfield. It's a handoff to Bradley. He's going to sweep around. Now he's going to cut up to the 30, 35, 40.
Bradley, the
He
ball
gets to the
carrier.
44-yard line.
44-yard line.
And timeout is going to be called by Lamar with 10 seconds
Timeout,
to play.
Lamar. Willie
And
Washington
I like
making
this
the tackle.
aggressive play.
The tackle
Hey,
for Sam.
maybe we'll see if we can burn one deep here.
Well, regardless, he was running it. If he got no yards, they'd go into the half. But if they actually got the yards, got the 1st down, hey, we got 10 seconds left. We can push it down there, and maybe get some more points on the board.
How many timeouts does Lamar have left?
I believe we have 2 timeouts left for Lamar. I believe that was their
remaining
first timeout
Vikings.
of the half. So 10 seconds, you could definitely throw a pass. If you don't get out of bounds on the run or the pass, you can call a timeout quickly. Then you've got time for one more play most likely.
You got about 4 or 5 seconds to run a 10-yard out maybe, and if you can get out of bounds, you got about 5 to 6 seconds left, maybe 4 seconds left. You might be able to set up for one extra play to dump it off into the end zone. Unfortunately, you'll be out of field goal range, but
got trips right. Dayton Dubs is the receiver on this side.
10 seconds
looks like Bradley in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back. He throws to Dayton Dubs, catches it, gets out of bounds. Shy of the first down. That's not a big deal because he got out of bounds. That was only a 4-second play. Now there's going to be a flag on the play, and they're calling a chop block against the Vikings, so that'll negate that. Well, darn.
Yeah, because that would have set them up again for another play if they had 4 or 5 seconds to run another out to Dayton Dubs.
Against the Vikings.
You're right there.
That's a 15-yard penalty. You don't get your 4 seconds back that you used on that play.
Yep.
So now you're really back in a hole. It's going to be first down and 25 from their own 29-yard line. 6 seconds, you've really got to figure you've got one play. If you do a quick out, you might do another 4-second play, have the time left for one play, but
looks like it's going to be possibly just take it into the locker room at half, being up.
So Twins right, single receiver left.
Just going to take a knee.
Yeah.
Dawson takes a snap, does take that knee. That'll be the end of the second quarter. So the Vikings dodged the bullet after the interception with the strong defensive stand. They'll take a 28-13 lead into the halftime. We're going to take a break so you can hear the band's play. We'll be back in time for the kickoff of the second half. Bill Frawley and Ryan DeModeler here bringing you the Viking varsity football.
Please welcome the award-winning 2017-2018 Sam Houston Texans. Last spring, the Texans competed at Raising the Bar Dance Championship and South Florida Dance Competition. Mercedes Moreira, Vice President Anaí Salas, Secretary Isela Silva, and Historian Lisette Rodriguez. Chosen by the directors and officers for her hard work and exceptional behavior, Texan of the Week goes to Leslie Rosas Banda. The Texans are under the direction of Mrs. Betty Fernandez and Ms. Tira Williams. Tonight, the Texans will be performing an exciting streamer routine to lift their movement.
performing for your halftime entertainment, the grand champion Lamar Vikings, under the direction of Miss Lori Woods and Miss Portia Sims. The Vikings are sponsored by 3DI Sign and Design. The Bike Queen of the Week is Miaha McGuire, and the Spirit Girl of the Week is Isdelia Gallegos. The Educator of the Week is Mr. Simmons. The Social Committee President is Itzayana Nahara. Vice President Michaela Graham. Secretary and Historian Sofia Hernandez. And Spirit Leader Aitana Nahara. The Bike Queen officers are Lieutenant James Beckworth, Lieutenant Kelly Walker, First Lieutenant Lori Wiggins, and Captain Tiffany Owens. And now, sit back and enjoy your Lamar Vikings. Calling all future Vikings, please join us for our mini Viking clinic Saturday, October 14th, and halftime performance on October 20th. Please see any Viking or the directors to sign up. We want to see your young dancers shine on the field with our very own Viking. The Lamar Band is led on the field by head drum major Brooks Fitzgerald and assistant drum majors Chloe Howland and Chappelle Johnson. Tonight, the band will be performing their 2017 competition show, All in a Dream. Soloists are Eric Lehue, Micah Cash, and Kendall Feldman. Band member of the week is Natalia Simon. Per copyright law, video recordings of tonight's performance are strictly prohibited. And now, the pride of Lamar, the Viking Marching Band!
back to the broadcast of Lamar Viking varsity football. Just finished hearing the Lamar Viking band play, preceded by the Sam Houston Texans band. And as soon as the players get back out onto the fields, the Texans are making their way onto the field now.
Halftime scores, ladies and gentlemen: Arlington 24, North Crowley 0. Also at the half, Martin 43, Bowie 0. At the half, Mansfield 41, Pascal 0.
So our halftime score here is Arlington 28, Sam Houston 13. Sam Houston will receive the opening kickoff here in the second half, so we'll have to see if our defense can come out and stop them on their opening drive to keep this a 2-score margin. And now the Vikings come onto the field, led by the cheerleaders and Thor Corps. And there's a neat sight to see. Got number 64, Justanity Johnson, carrying the American flag as he leads the team onto the field.
Just an update from some scores around the district. Arlington High is leading North Crowley 24-0, still at half. Martin is leading Bowie High School with 1 second to go in the half, 43-0. And Mansfield is leading Pascal High School 41-0 at half.
Wow, some big halftime scores there. Nothing too surprising, but some big margins there.
Definitely looks like these schools are working out the kinks in the offense, and looks like the defense as well, kind of making stops.
Well, the Texans are out on the field, set to receive the kickoff.
Hey fans, CareNow is a proud sponsor of the Arlington ISD Athletics this fall. CareNow's medical centers provide convenient, urgent care to families in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
It's like
the Arlington and Mansfield locations for all of your family
deep to
needs.
receive that kickoff, and we'll see if they can kick it a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Again, keep up with that. Kick it at 35 and. Yep. Yeah, there's
the fake stutter step onside kick. Now Villegas moves back.
To kick off.
Just got to check to see if they're paying attention properly.
May as well give it a shot. So as equally important to the deep backs is the man standing at the 30-yard line. And here is a pooch kick.
Straight.
It's going to be good at the 30-yard line. But number 22, he gets across the 35. He's met at the 39-yard line.
It's like Fuente.
So that's going to be about a 9-yard kickoff return for the Texans.
And on the stop for Lamar, number 28.
And on the stop was Terrence Hike, the special teams
First
play.
and 10, Sam Houston. 40-yard line? At their 40-yard line.
So first and 10 for the Texans at their own 40-yard line, again starting in that 35 to 40-yard line range where they've started every drive just about with the short kickoffs. But again, like you said, Ryan, not kicking it to Phillips and giving him the chance to break a big kickoff return. Looks like they're going to start off with two receivers out to the left, one to the right. Harris in the backfield, just behind Dollar, the quarterback. Handoff up the middle. Harris, he gets across the 40, 45, 50. He's got some room. Gets across the 35, down to the 44-yard line.
Brought down by Hadawi.
Caden Hadawi saves the touchdown there with the tackle.
Yeah, definitely, because he broke it out, and he didn't have anybody in front of him after that.
So 16 yards on the play, first down and 10 for the Texans now at the Viking 44-yard line. He just blew through the hole up the middle there.
Definitely.
Was it Harris? Because there's 24 in the back.
24 is in the back. Well, I think it was 23.
So now they've got Patrick, I think you pronounce this Bouye, it's what they told me last night at the freshman games in the backfield. He takes a handoff up the middle of the left guard. He's going to get to the 40-yard line.
On the carry.
And it looks like he'll be stopped at the 40 for a 4-yard gain. That'll bring up second down and 6.
Gain of 4 yards, second and 6.
Now we've got a timeout for an injured player. That's going to be one of the Texans at the far
official timeout, an injured player
area of the field. we've got training staff out there tending to him. Players all around, so we can't get an identification on the number of the player that's injured, and really can't see anything that's going on.
Looks like the last number is a 4, but I don't know. I can't have to verify.
He is moving his legs. I can't tell if they're really working on something closer to his arm or his shoulder, again with lots of players around him. But he is moving his legs at least. And now, I can't hear anything. Still the player down on the field.
What's going on?
I don't think I hear anything through the mics now.
Those all straight up and down. These guys all straight up.
I don't hear anything now all of a sudden.
Talk.
So here we are now, still the player down on the field.
You hear each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Players have all pretty much left the field. Looks like they are tending to one of his ankles, given the attention down there.
Yeah, they've got one of his cleats off. Looks like, so. Yeah, they're working on that. They're taking off that.
Yeah, now he's going to get up.
Number 74.
So 74.
Injured on the play, Jacob Rios, number
They
74.
did remove his right shoe, but he's getting up and walking off pretty much under his own power.
Jacob Rios.
Jacob Rios is the player. So that's a big sigh of relief that apparently not any kind of a serious injury at all. And, well, that does, unfortunately for the Texans, it kind of stops their momentum. They were moving the ball pretty quickly on some consecutive plays, and now it's going to be second down and 6 for the Texans at the Viking 40-yard line.
Both teams finally getting back out on the field, getting lined up. Twins to the left, single to the right. Looks like Bouye still back there in the backfield.
Tyler takes a snap, he steps back, he throws over to the left, and it's in and out of the hands of an open receiver.
Number 10.
Looks like number 10, that's going to be Jerome Shackelford. And he could have had that ball and had a first down, but now it's going to be third down and 6. We dodged a little bit of a bullet there.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was either thinking about the cornerback that was going to step up and hit him, or if he was going to think about taking off, you know, before he actually got his hands on the ball and caught it. So you always got to catch.
Dollar in the shotgun.
Worry about catching the ball, securing it
Tailback
in your
to
hands,
his
and then taking
right.
off.
So now we've got trips right for the Texans.
Right.
Bouye in the backfield with Dollar. Here's a snap. Fake handoff, and now there's flags, and it looks like they're going to call illegal procedure against the Texans. So that's going to bring it now to be third down and 11. So 2 things in a row here playing against the Texans. The drop pass, it would have been a first down, and now the illegal procedure call is going to back them up 5 yards.
Yep.
And instead of third and medium at 6 yards to go, it's going to be third and long, third and 11.
Yeah,
Still a passing situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of closes off that playbook a little bit, sets up the defense. You know, they can play at the sticks and keep everything in front of them. So definitely kind of limits down everything that you can do. We got trips to the right, nobody to the left. Looks like a blitz.
Dollar scrambling for his life. He throws, and it's in and out of the hands of number 10, and that's going to be Shackelford. But I'll tell you what, Dollar had 2 or 3 Vikings all over him, including looks like
34, which is Mercado on him.
The number 58, Simone Foster, was back there with him.
Yeah, then both of those guys hit Dollar just as he threw that ball, and unfortunately he couldn't get it near the receiver, and the receiver had to run back about 5 yards just to even attempt to catch that ball.
So a big third down stop for the Vikings brings up 4th and 11, and I'll say in a parent punting situation, you never tell what's going to happen for sure.
We got West back deep to receive.
Here's the punt. It goes straight down the field. West is going to let it roll. No, he fields it at the goal line instead of it going in. It's at the 5, the 10, the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He's going to be dragged down at the 45-yard line. Ryan, at first I'm thinking, why did he let that thing just go into the end zone? Now I know why.
Yes, let's gain 25 yards after that.
He even turned around to pick that ball up a little bit and comes back all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Definitely, it's definitely important for the special teams to maintain their lanes and make the tackle, because if not,
wow,
either team can hurt you.
Quite a gutsy play there, and quite a play. Of course, the last time he fielded something at the goal line,
took it back all the way
for a touchdown. Yeah. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings. They've got trips left, single right, Moultrie in the backfield next to Dawson. 1st and 10 at their own 45. Here's a snap. Dawson's back. He's looking for a receiver. He's got some time now. He's got pressure. He's scrambling and throws it out of bounds in the area of number 14. That's Balog.
Yep.
And so Risley kind of threw it out of bounds. At first he had lots of time, but that means they were covering our receivers deep.
Yeah, it was definitely a coverage sack. I mean, all the receivers in the routes, they were all covered up. So unfortunately, he made the wise decision of just throwing it away.
Yep. So while their defenders were covering our receivers, our offensive line was doing everything he could to give him some time, and then finally he ended up having to throw it away. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 45-yard line now. One receiver right, trips left. Moultrie takes the handoff. He swings around to this side. Now he cuts up 40, 45, 50 across midfield, 45. He's going to get the first down inside Texan territory at the 44-yard line. So just what we needed on 2nd and 10, an 11-yard run. Moultrie took that handoff coming in motion in front of Dawson. Then he swings kind of behind him and then makes that momentum turn up on this side of the field.
He definitely had some great blocking out there. I saw Matthew Shaw and Cohen out there, the offensive tackle and our offensive lineman, and they both held on to their blocks and really did a great job.
Trips right, single receiver left. Dawson takes a snap. He steps back. He has some time. Now he's going to keep it, but he's going to get sacked at the 48-yard line. So a loss of about 4 to 5 yards. Let's see where they spotted. They can put it to 49-yard line. So a loss of 5 yards brings up 2nd down at 15.
2nd and 15.
Yeah, Jalen Vincent came up from the backside and just kind of brought him down once he decided to tuck that ball and take off. And unfortunately, just he got brought down way behind the line of scrimmage for that sack. It just...
So now we've got Twins right, Twins left. Looks like Moultrie in the backfield again to Dawson's right.
Coming off a blitz, it looks like.
Man in motion. Dawson steps straight back, jumps a little pass to the 45, to the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, down to the 26-yard line, it looks like, where he might have gone pushed out of bounds.
Moultrie on the screen
pushed out of bounds by
catch.
Phillips, number 9, saved him.
So Moultrie turns into a receiver on that play, catches the ball, and moves about 25 yards after the catch.
Yeah, they're pulling their guards out to cover on the screen passes, and that gets once their offensive linemen get out there
and they've put the ball to 24-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Vikings, knocking on the door here. Twins left, Twins right. Moultrie in the backfield. Dawson takes the ball, steps back, he's looking for a receiver over the middle to West, catches the ball, 10, 5.
Squeaks in for the touch. No,
they're going to say he went out at the 1-yard line.
Oh, almost. Wow, that was great.
2-yard line.
So
about 22 yards on the play to West, and he almost had the way to get into the end zone. So Lamar comes up to the line quickly, trying to keep the defense on their heels.
Definitely.
Twins right, single left. Hand off to Moultrie. He's making his way up the middle, pushing, driving. He gets to the 1. Is he going to break through?
Line pushes him all
And
over.
the offensive line just pushing in, touchdown on the 2-yard run.
Good job. That was a great group effort by that offensive line right there. About 3-4 guys just pushing the pile.
And we do have one Texan that's slow getting up, or one of the linemen. I think he was taking the brunt of being pushed backwards.
Yeah.
He's still on one knee. That's number 58.
He was
And
fighting.
that's going to be Steve Delorbe. Now, he does get up, and he's not limping. But, boy, he sure was slow to get up, being at the bottom of that dog pile.
Point after attempt.
So now the score is 34-13, just what the Vikings needed.
Fresh to snap.
Hold the Texans on their opening drive of the half, get the ball, and then score. Here comes the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it is
Flag on the play.
good, but there's a flag on the play.
The kick is good.
Offsides against
Sam
the
Houston.
Texans. That'll be declined. We'll take the point, 35-13.
Remaining in the
Wow,
third
great
period.
drive.
Lamar 35.
West with the great play. I thought he got in, but you know, he was pushing forward, and they called him out at the 2. But Moultrie
Scoring drive
just
by the
showing
Vikings,
heart with that
55
line,
yards,
just
5
pushing,
plays, 3
forcing
first
their will
downs.
upon these Texans and getting
Minute
into
50 on the
the
time
end
of
zone
possession.
for for the touchdown. That was a great drive. It 1 minute 16 seconds off the clock. It was 55 yards on 5 plays and 3 first downs made. So it was a good job. Or 1 minute 50 seconds off the clock. Sorry.
Using all your fingers and toes again?
Yeah, I ran out. Sorry. I was trying to use Aggie math.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, I remember, speaking of Aggie math, I remember failing differential equations twice at A&M.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's when I decided I will not be an engineer.
Yes.
So now the Vikings come out again to kick off the ball. And, of course, I'm going to tell you deep again, Phillips and
Deep, Phillips and Caulfield.
Caulfield.
80 to kick.
Viegas to kick.
Viegas, hopefully, you know, that squib kick's been really working for us. We've gotten 1 turnover off of it, so maybe
there's the little fake stutter step.
yeah.
Now he turns around, counts off his steps to do the supposed long kickoff, but my money's on a pooch kick to the 30-35 yard line.
Definitely. Kind of pins them right where they need them and lets your defense get the chance. And
There's the
another
pooch
pitch.
kick. It's going to be fielded at the 25 yard line. He gets up to the 30. Now the 35. He's going to be brought down at about the 30.
From the 25 yard line, it's number 20
yard line.
return, Fuente.
Fuente.
12 and 6.
So Fuente on the return, about 12 yards.
Yeah, about 12 yards.
Gar
Out to
and
the
Polk
36,
making the stop.
37.
Felicia Gar and Jordan Polk in on the tackle on the kickoff coverage.
Here's your cornerbacks making the tackle.
So Sam Houston, deja vu, starting off in that same range of the field at their own 37 yard line this time.
Official time.
Now there's a player on the Texans team. He's lying down and he's got a leg cramp and he's just begging someone to come stretch that leg. Oh! One of his teammates tried to stretch the leg and I'm like,
too quick.
He said, no, not like that.
Touch.
So now the trainers do come out.
And it's number 44,
And
which
like
is
you said,
Devontae Smith.
Man, one of those leg cramps can be so painful until you can get it in the right direction.
Yeah, you definitely got to stay hydrated out there. I mean, regardless of the temperature, always stay hydrated.
Definitely so.
So,
Who's down?
44.
So the injured player.
Devontae Smith.
Thank you. Sorry about the cough there. I was trying to get it covered up in time.
Unfortunately, we do not have that cough button.
Yeah, we got to reach over and turn the dial or try to cover up the mic, but sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not.
So,
Now he does get up and he's going to
kind of limp off.
Deontay
limp off,
Smith,
but
number 44.
he is walking off under his own power, but still
And
feeling the
walking off under his own
strains
power.
of that leg cramp.
Yeah. Get them some pickle juice on the
Pickle
sideline.
juice.
Yeah, right. Well, I remember playing Little League baseball in the 70s, and they would give us salt tablets.
Mm-hmm.
That's old school, and I think they finally figured out, no, that's not exactly what we need to do.
No, that is not good. That works kind of the opposite. But,
So the Texans will have the ball first and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Looks like we're going to have 2 receivers off to the left. The offense is still in the rest of the offense in their huddle.
looks like they're going to signal out the plays.
First and 10 from the 37.
Defense has gotten their play. They're starting to line up.
Okay, so we've got one receiver right, Twins left.
Is Bobby Brown even in?
32's in the back.
So it looks like Harris is back in the backfield. Fake handoff. It's a quick throw over the middle. Well defended. That's going to be incomplete. The pass is intended for number
25 was the one that broke it up.
Bolden.
That's McLean.
McLean, it looks like, is out there at cornerback that broke up that pass.
So that'll bring up second down and 10 for the Texans at their own 37-yard line. Great coverage on that pass play. Ball well thrown, but just well defended by the Vikings.
Second and 10.
So we got another second and 10 coming out.
Twins left, single right. Looks like Harris in the backfield again. Dollar takes a snap. He does hand off. It's up the middle to the 40. He moves over to the left side, still on his hand or feet, and he's going to get down to the 44-yard line.
Red brought him down.
So Red Huggins made the tackle. That's going to be a gain of about 7 yards.
On the tackle.
Looks like 3rd and 3, and they're lining up fairly quickly.
Third down 3.
Trying to keep that defense out on the field, get them tired out.
Twins left, single receiver right, and we've got a slot man, it looks like, number 42.
Harris,
without a name on the roster. Harris in the backfield. Sort of a setback there, not a slot. Handoff. Nope. Dollar's moving. He's got some pressure. He throws the ball. The receiver comes back for it at the 40-yard line, catches it, and he's tackled by 3 of the players, including going to be number 3, Red Huggins. Number 33 is in on there. That's Javon Moore. Number 25,
number 33, Moore
McLean
on the stop.
But that'll be a first down play for Sam Houston as they make some big yardage, getting down to the 40-yard line of the Vikings, 1st and 10.
Yeah, and Dollar kind of threw up a prayer a little bit on that pass, and he's lucky that his receiver came back to the ball, and he looks like he's 4 or 5 inches taller than guard there. So unfortunately, you know, sometimes on those jump balls that
here's a snap. Dollar throws over the middle. Number 2, he catches the 30, gets down to the 25. That's going to be
Bolden.
And now he's going to be at the 25-yard line. 15-yard gain on a quick slant pass.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Texans at the 25-yard line. The score, Lamar 35, Sam Houston 13. But Sam Houston driving here. Hand off to Harris. He goes up the middle, but he stopped almost immediately.
No gain on the play.
They're going to say no gain. It looked like he might have made a half yard before he got pushed backwards.
Number 77 on the stop.
Jaron Roseman, number 77, led the tackle, and he's going to come off the field.
Get some fresh legs in there.
Jaron Roseman, his dad's a barber, does some really neat styling in his hair. I've seen that ever since late elementary school.
Same thing with Javante Kemp's father as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line. Twins left, single right. Harris in the backfield, it looks like. Dollar takes a snap, steps back, throws over to the left. It's caught at the 20-yard line. Nowhere for him there to go, and he gets wrestled out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
Brandon Nash, number 1.
Brandon Nash with that quick out route.
And then Caden Hadawi for the Vikings went over there and tackled him at the 19-yard line. So 3rd and 4. Let's see what the Viking defense can do here.
Another big 3rd down. See if they can make the stop.
Twins left, single right. Harris in the backfield. Here's a snap. Dollar steps back. He's looking. Throws deep, and it's going to be out of the end zone. And that's going to bring up 4th and 4.
Pass was intended.
Kind of an interesting call going for all of it from the 19-yard line. 3rd and 4. You only needed 4 yards.
They really don't have a kicking game, so they really have 2 downs here to get the first down. So unfortunately, they really haven't even attempted a field goal, and they just go for it. So if it's 3rd and 4, they look at it like the defense may play up a little bit, and we may be able to go over the top, which that's what they were hoping for. Unfortunately, Dollar just overthrew that ball.
They've converted at least 1 4th down. Here is 4th and 4. Twins left, single right. Harris in the backfield. Dollar takes a snap, steps back. Oh, he's going to be brought down in the backfield.
35 wrapped him up. Erickson.
Dollar
That's going to be
down for a loss by number 35.
Jacob Erickson led the tackle there.
Joseph Vaughn.
Boy, the Vikings defense penetrated through that offensive line quickly because as soon as he thought he might have a receiver, he was getting spun around by the shirt tail.
Well, they brought in more defenders than offensive line help. So they blitzed the linebackers. The linebackers picked up all of your offensive tackles, and that left Erickson freely running to the quarterback. And you know, he was there before the receiver got open, slowing him down and throwing him down.
Great defensive coaching call. So the Vikings take over on downs, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line, leading 35-13. 5:55 to go in the third quarter.
Twins left.
Michael Bradley in the backfield.
Handoff.
Devon West, he comes in motion, takes a handoff, and he's going to be tackled back at the 20-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 5 yards for the Vikings.
Taking the handoff.
Fled Hensley on the trip up there, number 43. So he came off the defensive end position, kind of tripped him up and took down West, but you know, they're trying to run that almost like a reverse.
2nd and 15.
Second down and 15, trips right, single left. Bradley in the backfield with Dawson. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back. He throws over to this side. It's going to be overthrown past Dayton Dubs.
Dubs, the intended
Unfortunately, he's
receiver,
overthrown a little bit, so Jack was kind of under the gun, under the pressure, just kind of overthrew his receiver just a little bit.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 15 at their own 20-yard line now. And now, big 3rd down for the Vikings, but this time on offense.
Yeah. Got to see if they can step it up and get this 1st down.
Trips right, single left. Man in motion coming across, Jalen Jones. Now we've got twins left, twins right as a result. Now they're getting a new play in.
Change up the play with 10 seconds left on the play clock.
9, 8, 7 on the play clock. 5. Here's the snap. Dawson steps back, throws deep down the field, and it's going to be intercepted, but there's going to be a defensive holding call. The player fell to the ground. That would kill that play. He gets up to run like he's in the pros. But this is going to be negated because of the defensive holding call.
Yep.
And that's going to give us an automatic 1st down.
Unfortunately, Matthew Shaw was going out for a pass, and the
cornerback intended for Matthew Shaw
got his hands on Matthew Shaw's jersey and kind of pulled it almost over his shoulder pads.
Against Sam
Number 21 for the Texans, Robert Brown, not happy about something. And one of his players was kind of holding him back. He was upset about something. Well, that's going to be, now they call it pass interference, so that's 15 yards. And that's going to be automatic 1st down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 35-yard line. New life on this drive.
Yep, definitely. We got twins to the left, single receiver to the right. Bradley in to Dawson's right. And we got
that's 2 men in motion. That's going to be a penalty. Can't do that.
Looks like Jalen Jones and Matthew Shaw both went in motion at the exact same time. Almost ran into Jack Dawson in shotgun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's some miscommunication on that. Slightly.
So that'll put the ball 5 yards back. Repeat 1st down, but now it'll be 1st and 15 from our own 30-yard line for the Vikings.
1st down and 15 for the 30.
Looks like we got twins to the left, single receiver to the right.
I believe is that Bradley in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dawson takes it, steps back, throws over to the right side. He's got a receiver caught at the 41-yard line. He moves around, going to get to the 43-yard line. Kevon West catches that ball. So from 1st and 15, about a 13-yard gain brings up 2nd and 2. The Vikings running up to the line of scrimmage pretty quickly.
West is having a huge game this game. I mean,
definitely so. Some big plays. Quick snap. It's a handoff to Bradley, and he's going to be caught behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of about 2 yards.
Yep.
And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. Timeout on the field now.
Vincent.
Not sure what the timeout is for. I don't see a flag. I don't see.
There's a flag at the 50.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Right in the UFO
flag on
circle.
the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Vikings, so that's going to unsportsmanlike against Sam Houston. So a couple of players must have been mouthing at each other or something. That's going to be offsetting.
Yeah, it's going to be getting kind of chippy out there.
And so those were dead ball fouls, I believe. So instead of repeating the down, it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
Those were both dead ball fouls, so it's 3rd down and 4 at the 41.
So you got twins right, twins left. Bradley in the backfield.
Shaw in motion.
And now there's flags thrown again. And that's going to be false start against the Vikings.
On the Vikings.
So now this drive is getting interesting with lots of penalties, moving the ball one direction then the other direction, offsetting penalties. And so now from 3rd and 4 we go to 3rd and 9 at the 36-yard line, trying to get to the 45. The Vikings in their own territory.
36.
So we're going to start off with 2 receivers left, 2 right. Bradley in the backfield. Jalen Jones goes in motion across to the far side. Lots of trouble, lots of pressure. He dumps off the pass to Michael Bradley. Bradley catches the ball. He's going to move back to the original, almost original line of scrimmage. Now there's a flag on the play.
Wow.
That's going to be
flags.
Something about a hit, I'm going to guess. This game getting kind of a little bit chippy. It's several different, or not as clean play as I'll say, and I don't mean anything like dirty, but it's a chop block against the Vikings.
So it's a 15-yard penalty.
Now, thinking about it, I guess they're going to decline that because now it's 4th and 11. Fourth and 10. 4th down and 10 at the 35. So instead of 3rd down and about 24, they want us at 4th and 10 because that's going to force the punt where we are. So we're going to see Dayton Dubs come out to punt again.
Dubs to kick.
It's like 9, I think.
Yep.
9 in
and
the back.
Phillips to receive. So that's kind of scary because Phillips is really good.
He kind of runs over to the far side of the field, kicks the ball. It's a high kick, and it's going to bounce. Phillips does field it on the bounce, but he's met immediately at the 25-yard line. So far, the only 2 or 3 times we've had the punt, playing it kind of the right way with either the high hanging punt, gets the players down there, or the squib kind of kick or the rolling punt and making it to where our players get down there also. So no return yardage on that one by the return man, Phillips.
He is hit immediately as well and wrapped up. I mean, almost immediately once he catches that ball and bounce.
Because he couldn't come up and field it. He had to let it bounce the way it was. And by the time that happened, he had players all over him. But he also saved his team some yardage by having the courage to field that ball and not let it roll past him. For more.
Definitely.
So 1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 26-yard line. They've got 1 receiver far out to the left, 3 receivers tight on the right side. Harris takes a handoff up the middle. He's going to only get about a yard or 2 as he goes to the left side around the tackle. Looks like they're going to give him 2 yards on that, so it's going to be 2nd down and 8 at the 28-yard line.
Roseman in on that stop again as well. So.
Well, Jaron Roseman playing great on that defensive line.
Definitely fighting in the trenches.
Again, single receiver far left, 3 of them tight on the right side. Here's the snap. It's a pitch to Harris. Now Harris is looking to throw it. He's getting hits as soon as he throws it, and it's almost intercepted by Caden Hadawi.
Almost picked up.
But there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
There's lots of penalties this game.
Yeah, it started off pretty penalty-free in the first half, but now here we're getting penalties every other play, sometimes every play. Let's see what this call is. So they tried a little razzle-dazzle. It's going to be holding against Lamar.
Lamar, the indication.
And so that's going to give the Texans a 1st down, I believe.
Yeah, it should be a 10-yard penalty.
And they're going to start marking that off from the previous line of scrimmage. It was 2nd and 8, I believe, so this will bring up 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Out to the 38-yard line, 1st and 10.
So as they tried to do that little razzle-dazzle with the pitch to Harris, and he became the quarterback and threw it. Not a very accurate throw. Hidalgo almost had a chance to intercept it.
He should have.
But it's now 1st and 10 for the Texans. Again, they have one receiver far left, 2 right. Harris in the backfield. He takes the handoff up the middle to the 40-yard line, drags players about 2 more yards.
The ball carrier. Get him first.
And there's a fumble on the play.
Ball's on the ground.
Vikings are trying to say they have it. They'll have to uncover the pile and see who comes up with it. No official call.
And it looks like
Lamar's ball.
I haven't seen the official call yet. No, is that it?
Offense is trying to get ready.
Viking football.
By Vikings.
Yeah, it looks like number 34 recovered. Mercado.
Now Jaron Roseman's coming off the field with the ball, and he's limping pretty good.
Sorry.
Jaron Roseman had the ball tucked in his arm.
Roseman had the ball.
He's getting a belt. He's getting a defensive player belt.
Tell us about that.
I have no idea.
Okay, but that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
He made a great play. Yep, they're giving him that's a nice award recognition for getting that
on the fumble
recovery. He's still limping around on the sideline. He's going to take a seat and maybe lie down on the treatment table. But hey, Viking football, thank you, Jaron Roseman.
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line in Texan territory. Quick throw from Dawson. Caught and hit, but there's a flag. Moultrie caught that ball. He's hit immediately.
He didn't catch it.
Oh, he didn't catch it.
No,
intended for Moultrie, incomplete.
One hand out there, and unfortunately just...
False start.
Well, I almost want to say fortunately, because it would have been a loss of yardage. But it's a false start against the Vikings. Another penalty. That'll move it back 5 yards. It will be 1st and 15 from the 46.
How many yards? 90 yards. Penalties for Lamar. And 50, 60, 70 yards for them. 90 yards for us. 90 yards for
Well, now I'm really confused.
Yeah, they're back to the...
We're back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd and 10.
55 for them.
Wow.
All right, at the 41-yard line, quick snap. Dawson throws another flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Dawson took a little bit of a shot after he threw the ball, and now they're calling illegal procedure again. But after that previous one, I don't believe the ball was moved 5 yards.
No, it was not. So did they pick up the last one and then...
I don't know.
Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Decline.
They should have killed it, but they didn't, so they get a chance to decline it.
So...
Because it was incomplete, just like they did that one bringing up.
Oh, okay, so we're getting a little bit of clarification from one of our clock keepers. They didn't blow the ball dead on that previous illegal procedure call, so that the Texans had the chance to decline it. They did. That brought up 2nd and 10. Now there's another illegal procedure. They've declined it. It looks like it's 3rd and 10 at the 41-yard line. Here's the snap. Dawson back. Throws, and it's going to be incomplete, out of the reach of Dayton Dubs.
4th down, 10.
And now 4th and 10.
10-yard out, and unfortunately Dawson just kind of
felt
the pressure, so he kind of threw it a little higher.
The interesting strategy of declining these penalties is paying off now for the Texans, taking the loss of down instead of the yardage.
So but it could have been 2nd and 20. It would have been 30. Or no,
2nd and 20 at the 51-yard line.
Yes.
All right, 4th and 10. We're going for it, it looks like. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Dawson alone in the backfield. Oh, he does a quick kick. No one back there to return it.
Quick kick by Dawson.
The ball bounces at the 10, at the 11. Now it's rolling sideways and is fielded at the 15. No one downed it. It's a 20, 25, 30. And he's wrestled down.
Flag on the play.
And guess what? Another penalty flag on the play. So and Dawson takes, and another one after the play is over.
Flags
and now we're getting too much extracurricular activity.
Yes, definitely.
So Dawson took the snap, steps up and makes the quick kick. It goes sideways at about the 15-yard line. Looks like we were waiting to down it, but one of their players picks it up and runs with it, gets up toward the 30. And then penalty flags start flying before and after the play was over.
Yeah, there's a lot of cheese on that broccoli.
So half the officiating crew is over at the far 32-yard line trying to sort out the different flags and penalties. Now we're going to get the calls. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a penalty during the run back and then a dead ball after the play is over, because that one flag threw high in the air after the play was over.
It looked like maybe a face mask and then some unsportsmanlike.
All right, here come the calls. Holding,
personal foul,
face mask against Lamar. And a dead ball, personal foul against the Texans. So we'll go 15 yards one way, bring it back 15 yards, and end up where we are.
Yeah.
Now, will they go through the motions of marking those off?
Looks like they are.
And now they're discussing.
Now they're trying to figure it. Now they're going to mark off the penalty against the Vikings. 15 yards to the 48. Now he turns around and goes 15 yards back to the 33.
Because they're getting evaluated.
TV time.
So when that's all said and done, a pretty decent little return when the Texans scooped that ball up, made about 16 yards on the return. You can't say offsetting penalties because one before and one after, but it equates to offsetting penalties. The ball's back at the 33-yard line. So 35-13 is our score. The Vikings leading, 2:52 to go in the third quarter. Texans starting this drive, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Harris in the backfield. Dollar takes the snap, throws immediately. Got a receiver at the 38-yard line. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Somewhere in that vicinity. We'll see where they mark it exactly. Shackelford caught that ball.
And Gar on the stop.
Khalid Fagar on the stop.
So they're going to mark the ball at the 38-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 5. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Harris in the backfield. It's a handoff to Harris. He goes up the middle, spins around at the 40-yard line. He's not going to get more than about 2.
Looks like Javonte Kemp on that final wrap-up kind of bringing him down because he was spinning off tackles. And another penalty on the penalty flag, it looks like.
Yep, sure enough.
Down on the field.
Personal foul, face mask against Lamar.
Foul, face mask.
Wow, that's going to be costly because that would have brought up 3rd down.
And now it's
going to be a 1st and 10 after this 15-yard penalty.
From the point
now they're figuring out where they're going to mark it from.
From the 41.
Looks like it's on the 41.
From the point of the foul.
That's about where the run had ended also. So now they go 15 yards. That's going to put the ball, I believe, at the 44-yard line in Viking territory, and that's exactly where they spotted. So 1st and 10. A big break for the Texans. Instead of having 3rd and about 3, they're going to have 1st and 10.
Yeah, and Lamar's pushed over the century mark on penalty yards. So
wow, that's not going to make any of the coaches happy at all.
It's going to be some running on Monday.
Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Dollar throws it over the middle. It's caught at the 30-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down. 14 yards on that gain.
That's Bolden working on McLean right
Red
there.
Huggins, number 3, number 25, Devin McLean.
Red took him down along with McLean.
Making the stop.
So 1st and 10
but
for the Texans at about the 29-yard line. Here's a handoff for Harris. He's met immediately, and he's going to get about 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah, it looks like Simon Foster met him right there at the line of scrimmage, and then he fought for another couple yards.
Now there's a timeout being called. One of the players lost their helmet for the Texans. He'll come off the field.
Yeah, it looks like Cameron Landa lost his helmet on that one of the offensive linemen.
And then while that's happening, we're making a sub. Cade Tresh is coming in place of Javion Moore for the Vikings on defense. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 8 for the Texans at the Viking 27-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Harris in the backfield. I think that's Harris. No, it's a different player. He does take the handoff. He goes up the middle to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's
and the ball's on the ground. Can't see who has it yet. And there's a flag after the play is over.
Another.
So we're going to have another personal foul.
Number 24.
Number 24, Bouye was in the backfield. He took the carry up the middle. Then he coughs up the ball as he goes down. Ball rolls forward. It's marked at the 13-yard line. No signal that there's a change of possession, so the Texans must have gotten it back. But now, what's the dead ball penalty flag going to be? We've had a lot of penalties in this third quarter. We're still 1:31 to go.
Several declined.
Yeah, and several
dead ball.
As well.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against the Vikings.
And it's going to be half the distance to the goal.
From the 13?
Yeah. Wow. So we are not helping ourselves at all on this drive with all of these personal fouls. And
yeah.
So that's going to put the ball at the
6-yard line.
5-yard line. First and goal.
First and goal at the 5-yard line for Sam Houston.
And it looks like
Bouyer's in the backfield.
Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. But
fake handoff, Dollar rolls to his right, throws, and it's going to be overthrown to the back of the end zone. He gets hit right after he throws it. Number 34, Mercado, yeah, he came in there and put the pressure on and hit Dollar as soon as he threw it. Clean hit.
Yeah, he was definitely feeling the pressure right away.
Pressure.
And that's why he overthrew the receiver, unfortunately. And the receiver should have hit the back of the end zone a little bit better, because Dollar's when he throws that fade route right there, he's going to throw it towards that pylon.
Second and goal from the 5. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Bouye in the backfield. Here's the snap. It's a pass defended well. It's going to be incomplete in the end zone.
That was Gar.
Khalifa Gar broke that one up.
Yeah, knocked it out right as he saw that slant. Took that slant inwards. Gar covered it up and then just stuck his hand out right in between the receiver's hands and just made sure that ball wasn't going to be caught at all.
So great defensive play there by Gar. 3rd down and goal at the 5-yard line.
Goal at the 5-yard line.
Got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bouye is in the backfield. See what the goal line, so to speak, defense can do here for the Vikings. Here's the snap. Dollar throws across the middle and is caught in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yep. That slant got Gar this time. Gar was too many steps behind, and unfortunately, Caden Hidawi couldn't step up on that. So
Shackelford makes the catch in the end zone for the Texans, and that's going to put the score at 35-19. And at some point, they probably start thinking, do they go for 2?
57, the kicker.
Yes.
But they're going to go for the 1 here.
One is holding.
Jesus Gerardo, the kicker,
44.
attempting the point after. Nash to hold. 44, you say?
Yes.
Deontay Smith to snap.
So here comes the point after attempt, the kick. Here's the snap, the ball's down, and it's blocked. It was a bad snap. It's going to be picked up by the Vikings, but he'll be tackled immediately.
Number 21, Javonte Kemp, picked that ball up.
Javonte Kemp picks up the block.
So
point
with
after.
the bobbled snap, that gave enough time for the Vikings to come in, get close enough to block that kick. So now, 35-19, 2 extra point kicks missed by the Texans. The first one hit the upright. They made the second one. And guess what? There's another flag on the field. Way down at the 3-yard line. Unsportsmanlike against Lamar.
Again.
So they're going to get to try that extra point again.
Wow.
Flag on the field was unsportsmanlike conduct by
So
Lamar.
on the offensive possession from Sam Houston, it was a minute and 36 seconds, 6 plays, 4 first downs, and 67 yards. But a big note on that one is all the penalties, unfortunately.
Yeah, Lamar definitely helped out the Texans with all those penalties. And again, after that blocked extra point, they're getting to try it again because of an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Yeah. Lamar's got 135 yards game to date right now.
It's going to be interesting to see. I wish I could almost observe what happens in the locker room after the... now they are going to go for 2 with the ball spotted at the 1.5-yard line. They've got 2 receivers left, 1 right. Bouye in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollar takes it. He hands off to Bouye. He powers up the middle. Stands up, walks in. 2-point conversion is good. Now the score 35-21.
It's only 2 scores away. It's 14 points now.
And that penalty, only 1.5 yards, it cost us 2 points.
Exactly.
21.
Yep. Just on a simple
From shoulder pain and neck strains,
somebody
bone
getting
breaks and
chippy out
back
there and
aches,
getting upset.
Baylor Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at Arlington has you covered.
Definitely got
with an
your
emergency room
defense in
that's
check,
always
get that
open.
attitude
We'll
in
be
check,
back in the game in no
and
time.
play the game,
Visit
make a stop,
BaylorArlington.com.
point to the scoreboard, not converse with the other team. So.
Yeah, like you say, Ryan, it's now a 2-score game, and we still have the whole fourth quarter to go, 1:16 to go in the third. We've got to straighten things up and focus on playing football.
Yeah, let's see if West can return another one for a score.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah,
Get a
another
quick
100
one.
yards.
But that won't happen because
West is
not deep. We've got Moultrie and number 25. McLean is back there.
McLean and Moultrie deep for Lamar.
But I wouldn't be surprised if there's an onside kick attempt or some type of a pooch or squib here.
Yeah, it looks like they're...
And we're anticipating that.
Number 26.
We've got 4 players right at the 50, 2 at the 45, 1 at the 41, 2 at the 35. So, and then we stagger our deep backs now.
Yep, Moultrie... McLean is about 10 yards ahead of Moultrie.
Here's the kick. It's a squib kick. It bounces high. It's fielded by Dubs at the 36. He goes backwards. Now he goes out to the right. 35 spins. 40. They spins again out of a tackle to the 46-yard line. So Dubs will probably get about 11, 12 yards, something like that, on the return. But he ran another 30 yards across the field and made 2 great spinning tackle breaks to get out of it. So
Roseman and number 40.
Yeah, definitely.
3, Trey Flood Henley.
So there's a penalty flag on the play. Looks like it's offsides against the kicking team. I think that one can be declined. Lamar's going to start with good field position.
Flag on the play was offsides on Sam Houston.
They're going to enforce it at
okay. So, wow, we're going to start in Texan territory at the 48-yard line.
Scrimmage becomes the 48 of Sam Houston.
No, why I thought that was either you take it and kick over or you decline it, but they got the ball and they got it afterwards. So, first and 10 Lamar at the Texan 48, 1:07 to go in the third quarter. 2 receivers right. Here's the handoff.
Nope, check.
Dawson throws it to Jaden Jones. He's going to spin around. He gets slammed down eventually, but it's a 5-yard gain.
20 brought him down.
Maybe a 4-yard gain.
Tackle to number 20.
Brought down by Cayman
Jones.
So Jones on Jones.
Yeah.
And it is a 5-yard gain. So it's going to be 2nd down and 5 at the 43-yard line. That was a hard fought 5 yards by Jones.
Yeah.
Before Jones tackled him. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Looks like Moultrie in the backfield. Here's the snap. Moultrie takes the handoff up the middle. He gets about 2 yards before he stopped.
And they're going to credit him with 1 yard.
1 yard.
So it's going to be 34.
Number 43.
So 3rd down and 4 at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Flood Hensley fought for that tackle. Gave him a yard, but stepped up and made that play. Wrapped him up.
So 11 seconds to go. It looks like the time's going to expire before this ball's going to be snapped with 6 seconds to go in the quarter. But that's going to start the fourth quarter with 3rd and 4 for the Vikings at the Texan 42-yard line.
Third quarter, ladies and
35-21 the score.
35, Texans 21. The Pride of Lamar has a full week ahead of them. The Viking band will compete tomorrow.
Well, things kind of went downhill in the third quarter with all of the penalties and a variety of penalties: illegal procedure, personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct, face mask. I mean, just about any way we could get penalized, we did.
Yeah, the dead ball fouls were the worst because those are all 50-yard chunks. I mean, it's 135 yards
we wish them
for
well.
Lamar to 60 yards for Sam Houston penalties. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway right there. I mean, it's just, it's
next
can't
week
have
the
that
Vikings
game and
will
expect
face
really
North Crowley.
to do much.
The Panthers at North Crowley.
Kind of like in baseball, they say, was it walks and errors or cost you game? Turnovers and penalties in football, I believe, would be the equivalent, and we're getting too many penalties.
Yeah.
We have the lead still, we have the ball, but 3rd and 4, we need to convert here.
At Lamar Vikings.
We're lucky
or
to
like
be
us
ahead.
on Lamar Vikings football Facebook page.
So the players are out onto the field, ready to get things lined up. The officials talking about
Fourth
something.
quarter, here we go.
Maybe where they're going after the game. They're taking their positions. Maybe they're talking about, is this a record number of penalties for one quarter? I don't know.
Tired of walking off these penalties.
Yeah. How many steps do you have? All right, 3rd and 4.
Let me check my Fitbit.
Here's I bet we see another flag here.
False start on the offense.
Yep. So now instead of 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9.
They didn't need to throw the flag until way after it was over.
Well, I think they must have blown the whistle, but
yeah, there's dead ball.
Now they're waving off the flag.
Wave off the flag. No penalty.
So he did not like the mustard.
I guess not. I don't know what just happened.
They snapped it before he blew it ready for play.
Oh, okay, so one of our clock keepers is telling us they snapped the ball before the referee had it ready for play, apparently. So now we're at 3rd and 4. Here's the snap. Handoff to Moultrie. He goes up the middle. He's going to get the first down.
Up the middle.
He was brought down by number 9, Phillips, and
Phillips making the stop.
So he got maybe one extra yard on that, so he got 5 yards. 4 was needed. Big play there.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're talking about Moultrie making it, but it's that offensive line that did a lot of that. And one of those is number 76, Sinachuli Tahima. 1st and 10 at the 37. Here's.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting. There was a lot of movement on the defensive line trying to get us to move. So this is going to be offsides.
In front of him, what's that?
On Sam Houston.
No.
So possibly simulating the snap count.
5-yard penalty against Sam Houston. 1st down and 5.
So that'll be 1st and 5, and this time the penalties are helping the Vikings.
It looks like we got some fireworks at the ballpark in Arlington.
Friday night fireworks.
Yep.
Here's a snap. It's Moultrie takes the handoff. He's going to go through the left guard, and he's going to get about 1 yard. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 4.
Like 43-92 helped bring him down.
Number 43.
Number 92, number 43.
Flood Hensley.
Trey Hensley.
Jeremy with the
on the tackle. Twins left, single receiver right. Moultrie in the backfield. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back. He throws over to the right side. It's batted down.
Number 5.
Pass is incomplete.
Looks like Willie Washington.
Willie Washington breaking up the pass.
I almost want to say Willie Wonka. Willie Washington
found the golden ticket.
He knocked that ball out of the air. So now we'll have 3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down play for the Vikings.
Yep. We were able to run it for the 1st down last time. So
Shaw in motion.
Number 26, Moultrie.
Now he's going to have to get reset as they call a new play.
Yep.
Twin receivers right, 1 left. Dawson takes a snap. Now he's going to try to go up the middle. He throws a little ball up. It's caught by Belong with the 20 down to the 15. Holy cow. I wish we had the video for you to see. Dawson's about to be tackled. He just underhand like a granny shot free throw. And no one was around number 14 Belong for the Vikings. He catches that and gets the 1st down.
Yeah.
Almost got the touchdown. Yeah, 1 man to beat for the touchdown. So now, first, that'll be on his huddle highlights.
Center.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Wow. He was just a Fran Tarkenton throw. Yeah, definitely. So now 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 18-yard line. Excuse me, 13-yard line.
We got Twins to the right, single receiver to the left.
Fake handoff. Dawson rolls right. He throws to the corner of the end zone, but it's going to go out of bounds.
Threw that away.
Double coverage on Belong.
Yep.
Belong.
So now it'll be 2nd down and 10. But I'm still just amazed as he was going down. He knew he couldn't reach back. He just chucked it.
Well, he's a great baseball player as well, so.
Yes, he is.
He's got the arm for it.
Kind of reminds me of Shane Buechele. Could play baseball and football well at the young age like this.
Dual sport.
Yep. Here's the snap. Dawson hands it off to Moultrie. He gets tripped up as he moves forward. So he's only going to get about 3 yards. Speaking of Shane Boucher, it was good to see him back in action against Iowa State last night for the Longhorns. Played the whole game, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception as the Longhorns beat the Cyclones 17-7, and a great kind of comeback after the injury for Shane Boucher, former Viking.
Yeah, it is taking him a little bit longer to
There's a snap. Dawson's getting some pressure, gets out of one guy. Now he reverses course, throws the ball out of bounds. He's out of the tackle box. There was Moultrie in the area, so there won't be a grounding call.
For Moultrie.
But man, Dawson was having to spin out of 2 different tackles, and wisely was able to get rid of the ball before he took a big sack.
Running from it for his life there.
And that was a penalty on the play.
Now it's intentional.
Now they're going to call roughing the passer.
No,
intentional grounding. I don't see how they call that. Moultrie was in the area.
Flag on the play.
He'd run out of the tackle box. How are they calling intentional grounding? Moultrie was definitely in the area as a receiver. Plus, he was out of the tackle box. Wow, I'm sorry to sound like a whiner, but that's a bad call. Wow.
So it brings up...
So intentional grounding, loss of down.
Loss of down at 4th down?
Well, it's 4th down and call Ubu from back at the 35-yard line. They've got to get to the 4.
4th and 21.
No, 4th and 31. They got to get to the 4, yeah. Oh, wow, that was a horrible call. I'm sorry to sound like that, but trips left, single receiver right. Moultrie in the backfield. Now the play is blown dead. Timeout by Lamar.
It looks like, yeah.
Wow, very interesting things going on in this game from a variety of perspectives. We've seen a penalty for imitating the
snap
count. We've seen an intentional grounding that I don't really think was. We've seen a bunch of unsportsmanlike penalties. We've seen personal fouls, multiple illegal procedures, offsides. Unfortunately for both teams, it's caused some disruptions in each of their momentums.
Yeah, there's been a plethora of flags on the field tonight.
That's a big word, Ryan. Plethora. And a myriad of calls.
Yes.
What's that, Tim?
15 penalties for 150 yards for Lamar.
15 penalties, 150 yards for Lamar. I know Coach DeLay is going to have something to say about that.
And 8 penalties for them for 65 yards.
8 penalties for Sam and 60 yards?
65 yards.
65
so about
yards
half.
for Sam Houston. So, yeah.
Well, here comes the old 4th and 31 for Lamar.
31.
We all have that play drawn up in our back pocket. It's trips left, single receiver right, Moultrie's in the backfield. Nothing's about punting.
It's a quick punt.
Kick.
Yeah, it's a quick punt.
Dawson does quick punt it over toward the sideline. And it's going to be down at the 3-yard line, so very well placed at the corner. And
guess he's using some soccer skills as well now.
Definitely so.
Spotted at the 6.
They're spotting it at the 6.
Oh, I guess he was first touched at the 6, even though he killed it, but that's where he first touched it or bounced off him at the 6. But still, very nice punt to get it inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Now, what can the defense do?
Yeah. See if the defense can put some pressure on them and back them up to the goal line. See what they can do.
So 1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 6. They're showing already with most of the players in the huddle, 2 receivers right, 1 left.
9:31 remaining in the game. 1st and 10, Sam Houston at their own 6-yard line.
Looks like that's Bouye in the backfield with Dollar. Handoff up the middle. He's going to power up for about 3 yards maybe, give or take. Maybe 4. Looks like they're going to put him at the 10-yard line, so that'll be a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6.
Townsend in on the charge to bring the...
Sam Townsend led the charge for the tackle on that play.
Gain of
Here's
4,
the snap.
6.
Dollar steps back, throws over to the corner, just off the fingertips of number 10, Shackelford.
For number 10, Shackelford.
A little bit of pressure on the quarterback, Dollar. He got rid of the ball. I think he was intending to throw pretty quickly, but just threw it just to the right.
Outside.
Yeah, out of reach. So now 3rd and 6. Big 3rd down play here with the Texans at their own 10-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Bouye in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollar steps back, throws to the right side. Pass completed at the 19-yard line, and that'll be good for a first down.
Yeah, that was Bolden on the...
Looks like they're going to say he's at the 20-yard line.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 at the 20.
1st and 10, Sam Houston.
He was on a quick, like, 10-yard comeback, so... And he was already on the ground when he caught that.
Man in motion. Handoff to Bouye. He comes around this side, across the 20, 25, 30, still on his feet to 35. He gets hit and spins around, and he's going to get to the 37-yard line.
37-yard line.
Finally brought down by number 33.
Javon Moore, number 33, making the stop for the Vikings.
Javon Moore bringing
1st and 10.
Down finally after he spins out of 4 or 5 tackles right there.
1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 37-yard line after the 17-yard run. Here's the snap. Dollar steps back, throws across the middle. It's complete to the 43. He's going to get to the, 47. He's going to get to the 50-yard line.
To number 10,
Shackelford on the reception.
So that's going to be another first down for the Texans.
Yeah,
at the midfield stripe.
They're just throwing it right up the middle of the field on a couple quick slants right there, and you know, unfortunately, our guys aren't able to block it off. But
so 1st and 10 at the midfield stripe. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Bouye in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dollars throws over to Bouye in the backfield by himself. He's going to go across the 50 to the 45-yard line. It looks like so a 5-yard gain.
To Bouye.
And he was picked up by Red Huggins, number 3.
He was by himself when he was out there in the flat.
Red Huggins
screen pass. And then he turns from the point of where he received the ball. He ran 10 yards for a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 at the 45-yard line. Man in motion. Here's the snap. Dollar again. A quick throw. Complete at the 40 to the 35. He's on his feet. 30, 25, down to about the... somewhere inside the 20-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. At the 19.
On the catch.
Right at the 20.
Then at the 20-yard line.
McLean on
wow.
the
So 25-yard play.
45 on the stop.
And they're moving up speed tempo now. Tempo at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Handoff to Bouye. He goes up the middle. There's a flag thrown from the defensive backfield. Thrown at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like maybe a holding call. Number 58, Simon Foster with the tackle there.
Simon Foster.
So that's going to come back, or he's going to be holding against the Texans.
Yep.
So on that 1st and 10 play, the ball's going to move back 10 yards to the 30.
So it's going to be first
and 20 yards to go at the 30-yard line.
Holding penalty against the Texans.
That slows down the tempo just a little bit here. 3 receivers tight on the right side, 1 far out on the left. Dollar throws to the flat, complete at the 31. He gets to the 30, 35. Before he's run out of bounds, 25, I'm sorry. And to the 24-yard line.
Ran a quick screen to Bolden right
there. Moore.
So it's going to be to the 23-yard line, 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 13.
Making the tackle.
Gar in there on the tackle for the Vikings.
And we're finally, the clock slowing down a little bit, or Sam Houston calling the play, we're finally able to put some fresh legs on defense in there.
Here's a snap. Handoff to Bouye, comes around to the left side. He's not going to get much. He gets stopped after about
a
1-yard gain. Going to move it to the 21-yard line.
It's going to be 3rd and 11.
3rd down and 11. And Ryan, once again, one of the biggest 3rd downs of the night right here.
It's actually 3rd and 12.
3rd down 12.
Oh, moved it back to the 22? They have to get to the 10. I think it's 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 at the,
at the 21.
At the 21.
Yeah.
So they moved it up a little bit.
2 receivers to the right, 1 left. Bouye in the backfield behind Dollar.
Yep.
And now a flag on the play. We were showing some blitz. They winced and moved, and now it's going to be 5 yards against the Texans. So now instead of 3rd and 11, it'll be 3rd and 16.
3rd and 16.
Keeping it, moving them back.
Wow.
The penalties are a better defense right now.
Yeah, right. Our best defense is their offensive line jumping early. 3rd and 16 at the 26-yard line. Still trying to get to that 10-yard line for a first down. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 left. Bouye in the backfield. Dollar the quarterback.
Gets set up and
takes a snap, steps back, looks for a receiver, throws over to the right side. It's caught. No, dropped. So in and out of his hands, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 16.
Yeah, big 4th down. Unfortunately, Sylvan could not come up with the ball. He just kind of bobbled it on the way out.
Maybe thrown a little short, maybe a little tough to catch, but he still had a chance at it.
Yeah.
But fortunately for the Vikings, it's not caught. So now 4th and 16, you can't quick kick. You really have to score because you've only got 5:48 to go, and you got to score twice to put it into overtime.
Yep.
So here we are. Looks like they're going to be going for it. Trips right. Bouye in the backfield. 4th and 16 from the 26. There's the snap. Dollar steps back. He throws deep for the end zone. And wow, Gar in beautiful coverage, man on man, jumps up and helps to knock that ball away.
Intended for Bolden.
Intended for Bolden, one of their leading receivers.
Yep.
That was a huge play in the end zone by Gar. Lamar defense comes through all the way around on that drive, takes over 1st and 10 at their own 26. Ryan, what do you see?
Both corners are really stepping up this game. They're really playing well, even though Bolden is a lot taller. It looks like out on the field, they're getting in there. Right as that ball's coming in, they're getting their hands up and blocking the ball.
Athleticism is taking over height. It's 1st and 10. Twins left, single right. Moultrie in the backfield takes the handoff up the middle to the 30. Going to get to the 35-yard line. And they're going to mark him down at the 36, and that's going to be a first down for the Vikings.
It looked like Willy Wonka brought him down.
Willy Wonka.
I'm sorry, Willy Wonka.
Willy Washington.
Number 5.
I thought you were going to get Jay Windax and say Willy Wonka over the microphone PA system.
Correction, let's make that 58.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line for the Vikings. That was a big first down play. Twins left, single right. Moultrie in the backfield again. Here's the snap. Handoff to Moultrie up the middle. He dragged the player with him. He's going to have his forward progress up to the 40-yard line before he gets pushed backwards. So that's about 3-yard gain.
Yep.
Gain of 3 yards.
Vincent met him right at the line of scrimmage, and he just kind of pushed the ball forward just enough to where he gained enough momentum, and then it stops.
So thank goodness for forward progress on that play.
Forward momentum.
4:43 to go in the final quarter. The Vikings lead 35-21. Twins left, twins right. Moultrie in the backfield. Here's a snap. Dawson throws over to this flat to Belong at the 45-yard line, and he's going to get up to about the 46-yard line, 1 yard short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yep.
That was a nice step back and quick throw. Accurate throw to Belong.
Yeah, and Richards was right there to force him out of bounds, but still, that was a great play by Blog to go up there and get that ball.
3rd and a long 1 to go for the Vikings. Twins left, single right. Handoff to Moultrie up the middle. He pushes forward. It's going to be where the markers. It looks like the line judge is coming down right at the first down marker for the forward progress. So we might get it just exactly what it needs to be. Yep, first down. Wow, Moultrie pushed forward exactly what he needed there.
Yep.
Big 3rd down conversion for the Vikings.
And Darmaine.
Yeah, Darmaine on the stop.
And again, we keep saying Moultrie's name, but I want to call out some of these linemen. Number 71, David Salas. Number 76, Sinatuli Tehama. Hope I say that correctly or close enough. Your number 73, Connor Lowen at center in there. He's been playing a heck of a game.
Yeah, they've definitely been stepping up and really making some great blocks.
Here's a snap. Moultrie takes the handoff in motion, goes to the far side. He's stringing it out, breaks a tackle, then he gets tripped up for a loss of yardage. So that's going to be back down at the 43-yard line. Timeout is called on the field. I don't see who they've charged the timeout to.
Time is called on the field.
Four, 340.
340.
We're going to reset the play clock right here to 340 left on the clock. But some scores from around the league. Arlington High over North Crowley in the fourth quarter, 41-22. Martin, the scores final. They beat Bowie 43-14, and Mansfield, the scores final. Mansfield over Pascal 51-0.
So some big halftime scores, and led up not to mention the third, fourth quarters there. Yeah, the big wins for those teams.
Second down, 14.
So it's going to be second down and 14 as we resume play here for the Vikings at their own 43-yard line. We've got two receivers left, one right. Looks like Moultrie in the backfield. Dawson takes a snap, handoff to Moultrie, tries to get up the middle, bounces off the line, then he gets tripped up as soon as he...
Tripped up by number 5.
Bounced off the line.
Washington.
Well, Washington makes that tackle. And he was the one, if he hadn't gotten him, if Moultrie had stepped out, he was going to swing around to some open territory over here.
Yeah, there was a lot of open real estate out to the edge.
To the 41.
So did we just call another timeout? Surely we're not calling these timeouts. It must be the Texans calling these timeouts.
Yeah, they're
trying to stop the clock.
They calling it over there. He's the only one hearing it on the other side.
So 3:31 to go in the game. Vikings lead 35-21. Have the ball, but it's going to be third down and 16 after that loss on the last play from their own 41-yard line. So Ryan, if you don't convert here, you're going to punt. You're going to try to get them trapped down deep. Take as much time off the clock as you can. They're going to end up with only one timeout if that left.
Yeah, to get 2 scores.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a tall order.
So Bradley comes into the backfield. Moultrie comes off the field.
Too much?
Turn on the back one if you... well, turn off the... Bradley up the middle, across the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. He's still on his feet, going to get tackled finally down around the 20. He gets over. Kind of body slam WWE style.
Yeah.
But my goodness, what a run by Michael Bradley as he came in with fresh legs in the backfield.
Yeah, that was a
all the way down to the 19-yard line, 1st and 10 on 3rd and 16.
Yeah, definitely an explosive play there.
From the
49-yard run. 41-yard
40-yard run.
40-yard run
by Michael Bradley. Talk about well-timed.
By Bradley. 1st and 10, Lamar. At
so definitely a big third down conversion and a big yardage gain.
And the clock is still rolling.
True.
So
Twins left, single right.
Yeah.
Handoff up the middle, Bradley, and he's not going down easy.
No.
They stop his forward progress, and he finally goes down after the play is blown dead.
Washington.
And that's the, we talked in the pregame about having 2 running backs that you can move in and out. Moultrie doing a great job, but now bring those fresh legs in, and you've got another power up the middle.
Especially on a tired defense with Lamar lining up so quickly, running the plays back to back to back to back.
2nd and 6 at the 15-yard line. Here's the snap. Nope. Now they're going to change the play. Twins left, single right. Bradley in the backfield. The clock rolling, 2:17. Handoff up the middle, Bradley. 15-10, 5, touchdown, Vikings, Michael Bradley.
Yep. And a flag on the field.
Flag on the field.
And I think one of the lead blockers there was Jesus Diaz-Vasquez, number 62, that helped make that possible.
Against against Lamar, the call. Negates the touchdown.
Balog made an awesome hold, or not a hold, but an awesome block.
Someone made a hold,
but
someone got caught holding.
Yeah, somebody might have gotten caught.
Yes, so much for the touchdown run. Holding from the spot of the foul is going to put the ball at the 15-yard line.
Nothing changed.
So, second down and 6 at the 15. Exactly, just as one of our clock operators pointed out, nothing really changed there, except we get to do-over. So here we go, twins left, single right, Bradley in the backfield.
Step back, your reflection.
We'll try this again. Handoff.
Handoff to Bradley.
Nope.
No, the keeper by, yes it is a hand, wait.
Keeper
by Dawson.
Scats into the end zone. Just
he fooled us, I think, once, maybe twice. He fooled the defense. It was really a great fake handoff to Bradley, moves around, and then Dawson snuck around the left side, cuts across the field, and gets the touchdown run.
Just kind of sneaks in.
So all said and done, we still get the touchdown. It's just a different player scoring. And now 41-21, waiting for the point after.
Could we turn this light off?
It was off. It was on before, wasn't it?
I'm sorry. I had the same reflection over here, so that's fine. Whatever.
Turn them both off. Can you live with both of them off?
I don't think so.
No.
And the extra point is good, and that brings the score to Lamar 42, Sam Houston 21. More of a comfortable lead.
Yeah.
That was good.
Probably the 14-point lead was going to be able to be enough, but that sure does provide some nice breathing room and insurance, so to speak.
Yeah.
6 plays, 4 first
also
downs.
took off 3:36 off the
Who
play
knows
clock.
how many penalties? Touchdown, Lamar. Point after is good.
So, and it was
Lamar 42,
6 plays, 4 first
21.
downs, 74 total yards, and then Jack Dawson with the
16-yard
touchdown run.
all-purpose 16 yards.
Run,
Yeah.
It was 3.
Padding the stats a little bit
Third down,
now.
16 for the 41.
So, yeah, Bradley with that big 40-yard run. Bradley with a touchdown. They got called back on the holding.
Yeah.
Dawson scores the real touchdown that counts in the books. But lots of great effort. And again, can't say enough for that offensive line for the Vikings. Trying to give them some shout-outs here as we can, because, again, they make some of that happen for sure.
Exactly. We're going to see if they're going to, if Lamar's going to squib it again to the 35 and...
Ron, he's putting the ball sideways on the tee.
Vegas to kick.
So he's put the ball
Oh, there he is. He's on the track. On the ground.
long ways along the on the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Do the little fake stutter. No one even winced on the Texans. But let's see how this kick goes with the ball
12 and
parallel to the 40-yard line. It's a squib kick that rolls to the 40, fielded, and immediately killed dead at the 37-yard line by the Texans. So
basically that squib kick, the ball maybe was in the air for a second or two, takes off more time off the clock, so it drives it down to 2:03 left in the fourth quarter. Kind of just whatever you can kill, 2-3 seconds here and there every, when you're just trying to.
Now, do they start the clock once it's received?
I thought it was once the ball hits the ground.
Okay.
Or once he touches.
Once it's touched, yeah.
Sam Houston, 2:03 remaining.
So first and 10 for the Texans at their own 37-yard line, trailing 42-21 to the Vikings. Twin receivers right, single left. Man in motion. The snap, handoff. Nope, it's going to be a pass from Dollar.
And
it looks like it is.
It hit the ground before he hit it.
It patted the ground, so
Deontay Smith.
what would have been about a 2-yard gain, incomplete. Stops the clock at least for the Texans. But it's going to be second down and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
Yeah, they're gonna be forced to throw the ball down the field, not sideline to sideline.
Here's a snap. Handoff to Bouye up the middle to the 40. He's going to get stopped at the 41-yard line.
To the 40-yard
So he'll gain
line.
about 4 yards on that play. And that'll bring up third down and 6.
Leading the charge, Cade Tresh for Lamar.
Cade Tresh is the lead tackler on that play. And that was an important kind of stop once he only got the 4 yards, because it brings up third down and 6. So let's see what the Vikings defense does here.
It also keeps that clock rolling. We're at 1 minute and 25 seconds left now in the game, so.
Here's a snap. Dollar's back. He throws over to the right side. Caught. No, he drops it because he's hit immediately.
Intended for Bolden.
Looks like Jordan Polk on that stop
number
there.
12, Jordan Polk. He hit the receiver as soon as he caught it, made him cough it up, so incomplete pass, 4th down.
Yeah, he's done a really good job on Bolden this game.
That's a tough assignment.
Yeah, it really is, because Bolden's a pretty tall receiver, so.
Definitely answered the call.
Yeah.
So now 4th down and 6 at the 41-yard line. They're going to go for it. Here's the snap. Dollar throws across the middle. It's caught at the 49 and then cross midfield to the 46-yard line. So they do convert, get the 1st down. The clock will stop to move the chains. Cade Tresh on the tackle.
Into Lamar territory. 1st and 10.
So probably what we're going to see here is not much change in the outcome, but some stat padding. Extra yards on the Bouye up the middle across the 45 to the 41-yard line.
To the 41.
It's getting tackled by number 13, Sam Townsend there.
2nd and 5.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 5 as the clock rolls with 49 seconds and counting.
Sam Houston still has 1 timeout remaining.
Here's the snap. Dollar takes it, hands off to Bouye, moves around to the right side, strings it out. It's going to get the 1st down, but right after
Bouye steps out of bounds after making
that, he gets pushed out of bounds. So that'll be a 1st and 10. Clock will stop to move the chains, plus he went out of bounds.
Looks like Moore and Polk forced him out of bounds
on the defense.
So that brings up 1st and 10 for the Texans at the 34-yard line. Here's the snap. Little pitch to Bouye. He's kind of trapped, but he gets back up to the line of scrimmage.
Bouye takes
They
the
contained
pitch.
him very well on that and forced him
And now a
to stay.
timeout is called.
Yep.
And I guess that's going to be Sam Houston's final timeout of the game. No, it's going to be an injured player.
Timeout. Player injured on the play.
Lamar is a Lamar player.
It is a Lamar player on the ground. Can't see a number yet. Looks like he's moving his head up and down. They're taking his helmet off. I don't know if he kind of lost his breath or. Now he's going to get up.
Who is it?
That's number 33.
Shaken up on the play. Number 33 for the Vikings.
Javon Moore.
Javon Moore. Let's give him a hand, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
he's coming off the field under his own power at least. And now with 24 seconds to go in the game, Texans will have the ball. 2nd down and 9 at the Viking 33-yard line. And now the Texans do call their final timeout of the game.
Mull things over with the offense, try to come up with something, try to draw a play for a quick score, and then try to get that onside kick.
Try to get one more quick score at least to make the margin lower. It's going to be tough to get 3 touchdowns in 24 seconds, but 1, maybe 2. But may as well do anything you can.
Yep.
So, the biggest drawback of the game, all the penalties.
Yeah.
Got to clean that up before we get further into the district play against even tougher opponents that we're going to face.
Exactly.
But, man, shining stars, Bradley, the offensive line making holes for him and for Moultrie, and then Jordan Polk playing that man-on-man coverage against a taller receiver, but using everything he has to break up enough of those passes to keep us being well.
Definitely. And
2nd down 9.
Trevon West.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the 100-yard touchdown return, other big plays.
His all-purpose yards.
Khalifa Gar's been making some good tackles. Cade Tresh again.
Yeah.
So lots of good shining moments here. Here's the snap. Dollar steps back. He's looking for a receiver. Has some time over the middle. It's caught, but he's going to be stopped immediately by Sam Townsend. And that's going to be number 44 that caught that ball.
Number 44,
the clock is rolling 10 seconds. They're trying to line up just to get one more playoffs and see if they can't make something happen. Spikes the ball.
3rd down and 9.
And now with 4 seconds to go, it's going to be 3rd down and about 3. 4th down and 3.
4th, yeah.
Correction, let's make it 4th down and 4.
Close enough for government.
So 4th down and 3 to go at the 27-yard line. The Texans want to see if they can make one more thing happen here. And we've got 2 players back deep. It looks like Caden Hidali is one of them. Or is that Clef? Yeah, Caden Hidali is one of them. Just kind of in the prevent thing at the goal line. Dollar's back. He throws. He gets hit as soon as he throws the ball. And it's almost intercepted. The pass is short. Hey, it is an interception.
Yeah, it's
so the final game. And again, Polk.
Okay, I'll see y'all Arlington, okay? I'll be back.
Take it. It looks like Polk came up with the pick.
Ryan, wow, what a way to end that game. Polk again. Lots of hard work on that defensive secondary play. The ball underthrown, but he was right there to go ahead and snag it and make sure.
Next week, the Vikings will face
final score 42-21 in favor of the Vikings. What a way to start district play. Get the 1-0 record in district because that's what's going to count for the playoffs. Next week, we're over at North Crowley. The week after, we're back here at Cravens for another broadcast against Arlington High Colts. Again, lots of shiny moments and things to definitely clean up. It'll be interesting to talk with Coach DeLay on Monday night again as we do our weekly coaches show, see what he wants to say about some of these things. But lots of bright stars. And Ryan, one thing I want to mention is we've got some sophomores that are stepping up to the plate. So we've got a real future in this successful program.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of much needed experience out here on Friday night instead of Thursday night.
On the sub-varsity level.
Yeah, on the sub-varsity level. They're getting Friday night exposure. The speed of the game is a lot more intense. So, yeah, it's great experience for them.
Lots of good senior leadership, and then the talent from the younger guys following through. I think Coach DeLay's building a great program here and all of his coaching staff. So with that, the final score, Lamar 42, Sam Houston 21. I'm Bill Frawley.
I'm Ryan DeMortler.
Our producer is Jay Ryan, and we want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another broadcast of Lamar Viking Varsity Football. Until then, VFND.
Give me a Willy Wonka bar.